Hey, you guys, we are live. How are you tonight? I
Hey, Sophies.
yeah, I got
Hola, hola, hola.
I got Bree with us tonight. I thought we were going to have Trish because I know you guys were excited to have her back. This is her first week back at work, and she was pretty exhausted, so she's going to get some rest for the night, but she will be on next time. So I just wanted to, let you guys know because I know you was like, "Oh, where's Trish? I know she's coming back." Yeah, so she'll be back with us next time. So we're gonna let her get some rest for tonight. But I got
Absolutely.
but I got our girl Bree on the line as usual. How many people we got, girl?
There was 40 people already waiting.
Well, that's a good thing.
That's a
Every
wonderful thing.
I know November sweeps got everybody talking, and the derangement is deranging.
It
So,
really is.
oh, bold. All right, so welcome you guys to Soap Corner Talk with myself, T and Bree, and we're going to be doing the weekly recap of The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful for the week of November 4th through November 8th. And normally we do The Young and the Restless in the first half of the show. If you're new here, I know the OG people, they know how it all goes. But if you're a newbie, we do the Young and the Restless in the first half. We do a little bit of housekeeping, and then we do The Bold and the Beautiful, and then we have our four segments. Flip the script. Who's taking seats? Star of the week and pickle of the week, and who wins the Simp Olympics this week?
There will definitely be no questions.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Exactly. Girl, you so funny. So make sure you guys hit that like button. I think Bree says over 40 people in here. Hit the like button. It only takes 1 second. It's free. And then it lets the algorithm know that people need to come in here and see what we talking about. All
Yes.
right?
We're at 55 people. Yeah, please hit the like button, y'all.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right, so we're going to start with Young and the Restless. I'm going to give the summary of the week and then we'll break down these storylines. All right, so get your coffee, your tea, your wine, or whatever your drink of choice is so we can have a good old time on this Friday night. Hold on 1 second. Oh, come on, my phone is moving slow. Okay. So, for The Young and the Restless for the week of November 4th through the 8th, Phyllis confronts Sharon and Summer interrupts Kyle and Claire. Phyllis hatches a shocking plan to expose Sharon, and Billy decides to fight everyone, even his mama. Phyllis begs a guilt-ridden Sharon to confess, and tensions flares between Chance and Summer. Kyle and Diane have it out in public, and Victor's surprise leave Nikki shell-shocked. And then Nikki and Victor take a walk down memory lane, and Adam receives an unexpected invitation. All right, so Bree, let's talk about Phyllis confronting Sharon.
Which is the dumbest thing to do. Who goes
Well, wait,
to.
we're not talking about the second time. She confront her over at the coffee house first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, and my thing is like this is, and someone had brought this up in the midweek chat too. Phyllis is acting a little bit like Steffy, a little bit. Why are you confronting the person you're accusing?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Mm.
Like if you know she did it, why are you trying to pump up your chest and say like, "Oh, you did it. You need to confess you did it." I mean, if you know that she's capable of that, how do you know she's not going capable of doing that to you?
Girl,
Stop poking the bear.
Phyllis always act like can't nobody touch her. That she's big, bad, and almighty. Yeah, I dare you to do something to me. And it's like, okay, you better be glad this wasn't Luna.
Luna would be like, "Look, let me get you some iced tea. Let's have a chat, Phyllis."
Right. Oh man. Because Luna would have definitely got her. I mean, obviously everybody on the Y&R side knows Jordan. But Luna, if she was jumping up in Luna's face like that, Phyllis would have been done for.
Mm-hmm. Without question.
Mm-hmm.
And no remorse either.
Nope. None at all.
At least we see a little bit of some form of reaction from Sharon, and she's about to crack, in my opinion. Just the way, like, hold it together. Cameron Kirsten at least had this woman hold it together a little bit better. She actually needs her ghost or whoever is in a figment of her imagination in her head to kind of keep her under wraps.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was moments throughout this week where I thought she was going to snap and actually say something, which I wouldn't put it past her because it is November sweeps.
Mm-hmm.
But Phyllis, why are you poking the bear? Like, I understand you trying to help your son, but this isn't helping him. Like, go completely rogue. Get the evidence. If you know it's her, like, I don't know. Here's the thought. Hire a private investigator.
Right.
That was always my thought. Like, why has no one ever thought to use a private investigator? When Y&R or CBS made the announcement about like a new person was going to come and be a part of the police chief or be a private investigator, I thought this is where he could have came in.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Phyllis just get on my nerves. She just do too much. I mean, I've said this on previous chats that we've had where move behind the scenes. Now, obviously, we need drama, and Phyllis is going to be Phyllis, right?
Of
but
course.
I mean, if you really trying to out somebody or you trying to get some type of evidence, you need to move in a certain way, not jump in front of the face.
Yeah, this is. Could you imagine if this was Sheila and not Sharon?
Exactly. Sheila ain't gonna play with her.
No, she would have got like one of the coffee pot. She would have got a plate. She's like, okay, if you're gonna accuse me, I'm gonna need for you to shut up. I'll make sure you shut up all the way up.
Exactly. And like Gail said, let the police handle it. I mean, she don't realize the more that she harass Sharon, it's gonna make it worse for Daniel.
I agree.
Even though we know the circumstances of what Sharon has done, we still up in there about that octopus. But
Right.
we know that she, took Heather out to the lake and dumped her in it. You know what I mean? But it's like, girl, you want to get the clues? Go look for clues. Don't be yelling and screaming and confronting folks and all this old kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
Speaking of confrontation, well, I would call it an interruption. We got Summer over at the house. As remember last week, Kyle and Summer had a pretty cordial time, and they were laughing and talking, having a couple drinks, and looked like Summer was enjoying herself until Claire came over there. Well, Summer came back to get her phone. And she happened to see Claire's purse and was wondering why she was still there and where was she in the house. And it's like, Summer, get your phone and go. What's your thoughts, Bree?
I'm just kind of. She and Katie are like one and the same. It's like 1 minute you don't want this man, next minute you getting jealous because this man has moved on with a whole other woman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if you want him back, say you want him back. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, like your child wants you guys to be a family again. So it really wouldn't take a whole lot of effort. And plus, Claire has to grow up a little bit before she can get with this divorced man to begin with. But
hold on, Bree, because the way she was ripping open Kyle's shirt, she looked like she was grown, and act like she had a little bit experience.
Yeah, I'm like, when did she find time to leave Jordan to get this experience?
Well, remember she went to college.
Oh.
So, I mean, granted, I've never been in a relationship or been in love with anybody before. And that's why Kyle was like, "Are you sure? Do you really want to do this?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm ready." Girl, when I saw that girl sit him down on that bed,
Mm.
ripped his shirt open, and stood over him, was about to climb on top of him, I'm like, wait, is this Luna 2.0?
Like she's not new to this. She's true to this, and she's never had a real relationship, but she has this experience.
Exactly.
So she really was into her college phase.
Oh man. Listen, my thing is I thought we was about to get a hot love scene in that moment. When you start seeing shirts rip open, I'm like, oh, YNR? This is what we're doing today? And then here comes Summer. I'm like,
Yeah, and Gail Lewis says Summer needs to stop interfering with Kyle and Claire's romance. Unfortunately, this is Phyllis's daughter.
mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
she's going to pull from her mother's genetics, especially with jealousy. But the way both Phyllis and Summer are when it comes to being jealous, they are ruthless. They want what they want, and they usually win in the end. So I don't understand Summer's reasoning now for her to be jealous. Besides, she wants this man. Like, she can't sit here and say, like, oh, I'm okay with Claire, we're comfortable with Claire, and then you see him with Claire, and you have a problem with it. She has a problem with any woman that circles around this man, and I'm like, just be with him. And leave Chance alone, since you can't give this man time or attention or any respect.
Bree, is it safe to say that Chance ain't hitting it right or something? Because there is no way a man that look as good as Chance,
Mm-hmm.
and if he's putting it down, that Summer should even be shifting her head a different direction, watching Claire and Kyle at a table at society.
It must be for several months now. And I'm like, oh, that's not a good look. That's not a good sign. I'm like, are you Liam?
Hell, you so crazy. Are you? Wait a minute. So wait a minute. You think she might be sleeping with Chance, but thinking about Kyle?
I would not put it past this girl. I mean, like, look at that man. That man is just beautiful, just gorgeous,
Girl.
this hot, sexy man. And you thinking about your ex-husband. I mean, I'm like, well, she's doing the whole reverse thing that Hope did. Like, Hope, she moved on to a whole other man. Well, men's, let me say
Men's. Mm-hmm.
that. Whereas Summer is reverting back. She's like, oh, my ex-husband, he looked kind of cute. Who is this other woman with him? Meanwhile, Chance is right there in front of her.
Girl, Jenna said, why would Summer want the hamburger when she got prime rib at home? Dang, Jenna.
Hamburger? He hamburger helper? Oh, no.
Girl, wait a minute. She called Kyle hamburger. And Belinda Hill said maybe Claire saw Thope and took notes.
So she's wearing Hope for the future, and she took notes from Hope too. Let's put the pants out for her.
Listen, Bree. Wait a minute, I gotta stop laughing. Because you had me rolling with her wearing Hope for the future. But my thing is, there was a different energy that Thomas pulled out of Hope. That's why she was so uninhibited. That's why this whole thing with, well, we'll get there, but this whole thing with Carter we saw this week was just not it to me.
Yeah, it's a complete miss. We'll definitely get into all that.
Yes, most definitely. But yeah, I was not happy about the interruption of Summer. I'm like, oh man, she didn't rip this man's shirt open. We're about to get some hot bedroom action. And then she turned around. One Summer comes yelling through the house. Kyle comes down there all disheveled. Of course, Summer realized what's going on. And he's trying to put her out because he got mad.
And J Money, oh my goodness. You see this? He said, well, apparently Kyle's hamburger was helping Summer more than Chance's meat ever did.
Oh my God, J Money. Oh.
I mean, no lies detected, Jay. No lies detected. Because I'm confused as to why she's worried about what's going on with this man. She's trying to go up the stairs, like, oh, maybe I need to check on Harrison. Oh, is Claire up there? What are you guys doing up there? Maybe I should go up there, girl. If you don't get your phone and go,
right. And then Claire come downstairs talking about, well, maybe that's a sign that it's not the right time. I'm like, that wasn't no sign. That girl was just being nosy and tried to disrupt you. Carry your butt back upstairs and finish where you left off. We're here for it. But
and
no.
This is the most adult thing that this girl has done.
Girl, when the next time you think we gonna get an opportunity like that? Now, Kyle did ask Claire to be his +1 at Abby's wedding. And you know what? If I was Claire, she better not come up in there with a hope for the future dress. She better go call she can't go to Marchetti. Go to Finmore. Get a dress from Lauren. She'll hook you up.
I mean, look, Claire might wear hope for the future. I mean, it's going to be on clearance and discount now. I mean, she can probably find it at Ross or teaching.
Oh my God, girl, you are a fool.
Look, we shall see. I'm curious to see if she's gonna wear like one of those little teacup princess dresses and like little pigtails, because I mean, like, this is the most grown up we've seen her, and the fact that she wants to step away from the nanny thing, I think that does help her. Mm-hmm. And as she wants to get into the corporate world, that does make her more adult. But still, this is like leaps and bounds, and Lucy is more of a grown woman than Claire ever has been.
Wait a minute, girl, look at that picture. I just noticed a couple things. So she's in prime position. I guess when he flipped her, you see that leg straddle around his back?
Oh, okay. So,
wait a minute, Claire, you lying. You've been capping, girl.
Yeah. So she hasn't had a real relationship, but clearly she's had plenty of experience.
Girl.
Sharon, just Maya said, hope for the future might be an H&M maybe. And then Sharon said, I saw them at Ross for $14.99.
Oh my God. She better not go hope for the future stuff. It's on clearance. What are you talking? It's one thing for stuff to go to Ross, TJ Maxx, or, some of those Marshalls or some of those places. But when it's at the clearance rack at those at those stores, oh yes, it's bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, and as soon as Steffy canceled that line, it went straight to clearance. It didn't even have a chance to just be on the sales floor for too long. It was immediately clearance and marked down.
Oh my God, girl, let's keep moving. This is too funny. All right, so then we have Phyllis hatching that plan that she talked to Summer and Daniel about, which is to gaslight her. And basically, and it's kind of touched that, Monday ran into Tuesday, of course, and then it runs into Wednesday, which is that whole episode about Heather's funeral. But this woman, even though she got the plan to gaslight her and everything, well, I don't want to jump ahead, but she actually think that this is going to work, coming over there talking about, I know what you did. And it's like, and you touched on it a little bit. It's like, girl, just back off. And it rolled into Tuesday. But then also on Tuesday, Billy decided to fight with everybody, including his mama. So it started with this whole conversation with deranged Lily.
Yeah. Talking about, he's offering this girl a position.
Mm-hmm.
And like any job position at that. And she's still ungrateful. She expects this man to step down from the top position so she can take over and he follow her.
Girl.
This delusion is, I mean, it must be nice. It must be nice to live in delusion where everything that should go your way.
Mm-hmm.
This is so stupid to me.
It sure is. I'm sitting up here watching this girl and I'm like, why? Her and Carter, they're just like running neck and neck in this whole thing.
Could you imagine a crossover?
Girl.
They would have so much in common.
Mm-hmm.
She might actually give Hope a little run for her money. Like, I mean, you cannot beat this delusion. This is just, like, even Audra has moved on. She was looking for other jobs. She's like, I'm not going to get this. At least she's coming to grips. I mean, she's still on this rhetoric saying like, oh, I still took the company away from Tucker, but I'm going to still apply for jobs. But But Lily is gung-ho about being the top dog over at Chancellor. And then she wants to put down her own family's company.
Yes, as Jenna said, when did she get so entitled?
Apparently, when Crystal Khalil came back from her maternity leave, this is the transformation of the new Lily. She gets cheated on and she wants to take Daniel's company or like hold it over his head, fire him because she got cheated on. Then we thought that she had made a change, and then all this stuff happened with Chancellor. She got fired because she was trying to go behind this man's back. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, before that, they did the demerger, and then she was working with Billy or working under Billy or whatever the case is, and she got herself fired. Mm-hmm. Then she did all of this corporate espionage, crying to Jill, crying to whoever can hear her, all for a job position. This is the new Lily.
Mm-hmm. Girl, just delusional, deranged, entitled. How many other adjectives can we find to describe her behavior?
Dumb.
Yep, that'll work too. Yeah. I mean, she wants this man to leave his family, his family's company. His mom specifically said, you're going to work alongside Billy. And she was like, well, and remember when Billy tried to get her to come back, she was like, well, are you still working there? Yeah, I'm still working there. Well, we have nothing to talk about. It's like, you're not the one calling the shots. Jill is. For right now. Yeah. I want them to drop that secret so bad about Odyssey 7.
I mean, we did see Jill and Victor in the preview. So I'm praying that comes out. Yeah. Especially since Victor wants her over at Winters and not worry about Chancellor. Oh, I'm pretty sure that's going to come out. And Medora, I do agree with you. Lily is taking Sharon's meds. Mm-hmm. And TA said Lily's stuck on the Lulu Island. Oh no, she's not stuck. She flew there first class. She was happy to go. Mm-hmm. And she's been there extended stay ever since.
Girl. I can't wait. I hope Victor drops that bombshell on Jill next week. Letting her know that Lily was the one that gave us Odyssey 7. Then she won't have a leg to stand on. And that's why I think one reason why it hasn't came out, because he's waiting to drop that bombshell. Because Billy should have said something by now. And he hasn't.
Right.
So obviously the way that it seems that this is written is that he is going to be the one to tell Jill about that. And then at this point, she Jill probably gonna cuss her out from A to Z.
And you know what? I'd rather her do it in person than over the video.
Yep. Well, since she's in since she's in town next week for this wedding, more than likely she'll probably hand Lily her face.
Oh, and that I cannot wait. And then they can really put to rest that thing about her working at Chancellor. And I just want her to stop talking about that company. Like,
now,
seriously.
do you think that Devon should take her back? Now, I know he probably will because he wants her there. But do you think that he should take her back?
Nope.
She said nope.
Nope. If I were Devon, nope. She disrespected your father's company.
Okay, hold on. Jay wants to come in. Let me go ahead. Keep talking.
She wants to disrespect the family company. She called this man a jerk. She's like, stop telling me to go back to my family. Like, I'm trying to go to Chancellor and because this is part of my legacy. Girl, you are nowhere near a Chancellor, a chance anything, a chance nothing. You're not even one of the chance playing cards in Monopoly. Nothing. Winters.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, y'all. Hey, T. Hey, Bree.
Hey, Jay.
You obviously came up in here right in this time period. You got something to say about Lily?
No, actually, I had a lot to say about, well, I said most of it in the comments. But when y'all was talking about Claire and where did she learn her techniques, I guess we should say. And I don't know if you saw my first comment because, the whole thing was supposed to be that she wasn't in a relationship. So my first comment was she must have been on that hub and she must have learned a few things watching the hub. Now, T, I don't know if you know what the hub is.
Stop it, Jay.
I know. Because you are so innocent. I didn't realize you were so innocent these last couple of weeks I'm discovering. So I don't know if you know what the hub is. Because
you know what? Stop.
Okay. But yeah, so she could have learned a few things from watching. You watch and learn, right, Bree? You watch and observe, and you can learn from watching.
Jay, so are you telling her yourself?
No, I'm just saying.
I mean, you got the experience apparently, Jay. I mean, you just walked through the whole tutorial.
But I'm sorry for interrupting. Y'all continue. What were you talking about?
We was talking about Lily, and probably that's her problem. She probably need to get some too.
Yeah, she definitely needs to lighten up a little bit, for sure.
I mean, it's been, how long ago did Daniel break up with her? Wasn't that in the spring?
Well, when oh, that's a good point. He did leave her for Heather, and he waited until she came back after that fire thing happened with Maddie's school.
Oh, so, dang, she ain't had none in a while.
See,
it's been almost a year.
And Lily also seems like so much of a prude that she probably doesn't even do self-care, if you know what I mean.
Oh, wait, we're not going to go there. No.
Yeah, so maybe she just needs to go get herself a couple of self-assistance devices. Just until the meantime.
Jay.
She definitely needs to lighten up.
Okay. All right. We I know it's Friday and all.
It's Friday night.
Yeah, I get it. Maybe she needs some Thomas in her life.
You know what? That would have been, man, why can't they do crossovers? Because that would have helped that girl out. Because Crystal Khalil, she went on maternity leave, I think, like last December.
Yeah, she had her son, the baby, in like mid-December or something like that.
Yeah, so it's been almost a year for Lily.
Mm-hmm.
And Brie, I gotta shut something down because you keep throwing this Carter and Lily crossover romance. I gotta shut that down immediately. That's never gonna work. They both like vanilla too much, so that's just not gonna happen. So we need you to cut that out. How did Uncle Joey used to say it on Full House? Cut it out. Cut Carter and Lily out.
You know what, Jay? You got everybody cutting up in this chat.
I
Do
see
you
that.
see Cheryl Hines?
I see it. Yes, Cheryl. You know the name of the actual thing that Lily needs. That's exactly what she needs right now.
Y'all crazy. I'm surprised ain't nobody said any other stuff out there they be talking about on social
She may
media.
have started something. Don't
Oh
speak
my.
too soon.
What Medora say? Lily put it on Daniel with the nakedness painting, and she dusty right now. Dang.
Usually you see cobwebs around like haunted houses. We're not too far removed from Halloween, but apparently Lily has all the cobwebs right now.
Yeah, well.
Wait. Come on. I wouldn't say. I mean, she's had it at least within a year. She's not Taylor.
Oh, dang.
Girl, Taylor passed the cobwebs.
You know who else might need some is Sharon. Sharon ain't had none since Chance.
Sharon need a psychiatrist.
Maybe somebody need to. Well, let me be quiet.
I agree. She needs to sit on a couch, not on somebody. No, she needs a therapist. She needs to get her meds together, or better yet, she needs to sit in jail, and I'd be perfectly fine with that.
Now, maybe if she got a male psychiatrist, she can knock two birds out with one stone, and she can get a little bit of both. But we haven't seen her get any help yet.
Yeah,
so
been
you turning her in.
pills.
So you want to turn her into Sheila? You need for her to have her Dr. Warwick.
Well, I mean, Marvin Gaye did make a song called "Sexual Healing."
Hey,
so
you can't.
exactly
Please don't use the S word.
oh, excuse me. But yeah, maybe that's what Sharon needs.
Oh man, I'm about to get a limited strike. Go ahead.
Sharon needs a cage. I agree, Medora. I highly agree. She needs anything but a man.
Can she borrow that cage Luna used, or did that get demolished with the building?
Probably got y'all silly. Let's keep going. We gotta talk about Nate.
Belinda.
Oh no, she didn't.
I can't even say that.
Oh my God.
I see you, Belinda.
Oh man. Yeah, it's definitely
just
not
Sharon. I thought at least Taylor. But
really
wait
a minute, there's a list of folks. Sharon, Phyllis, Lily, Steffy.
Wait, you don't think Finn providing?
Police.
If he was, she would be acting a little bit more, different.
Ashley too, right? She's back on the scene. She gonna need some.
Oh my God.
I mean, she's had at least within a year with Tucker. I mean, but anyway, you said Nate.
Yeah, let's talk about Nate and this whole thing with this look like what should be a scam.
Yes.
All right, what's your thoughts?
I want to hear the male perspective. Like, could you do this, Jay? In all honesty, would you do this for her?
If some woman came to me talking about she had a relationship with my father and I got a brother out there and she wanted me to look for him, I would have told her to kick rocks. Like, you had all these years to tell him, now you done lost him. You done lost your grown son, by the way. You better go put out some milk cartons and some flyers and tell him to come home, tell him I'm sick or something. But that's not my responsibility. And then I'm supposed to just take your word that he my brother?
Plus she asking for money too.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't see that part. I saw when she came back. She's asking for money now, and then when she was hitting him with she was going to. I said this in our chat. She was going a little too thick with the compliments. That's when I kind of realized that I was already, as you know, I was already leaning towards this being a scam.
Mm-hmm.
But when she came back that second time and was hitting him up with all those compliments, and she said she had did a research on him and all of that stuff, I said, yeah, this is a scam.
Yeah.
You know what got it for me, Jay, that it was a scam? The fact that she brought in the birth certificate, the social security card, and a piece of the hair. And I'm like, you couldn't send this to a police department, but you gonna send it to this man. I'm like, this is a whole scam.
Yeah, it's too much. You're right.
And she was pushy about it too, because he told her twice, I don't think I'm the right person for this. And she was like, yeah, you are. And I'm like, I just told you. I don't want to do this. You gonna tell me I am the right person? Plus, I really don't have the money to do it. I'm like,
and she don't look sick. So when you add that on top of it, and like you said, she's easily giving him all of this stuff, especially when you talk about Social Security and all that stuff. No, it's just looking way too neatly wrapped up. And for all I'm thinking at this point now, Damien is in Genoa City already, hiding out, and she's probably going back and reporting to him on how things are going. They probably in on this scam together.
Ooh, that's a very valid point, Jay.
Right. I can see that. I can see that.
Because I'm surprised she provided the birth certificate, the social security card, and a piece of hair, but not a picture. So he don't even know what his brother even looks like, but she wants him to fit the bill to find him. And she's a whole daughter of a former police chief.
Right. You mean...
And that, no connections, apparently.
Yeah, that part don't make sense, but you just made a really good point. You got all this stuff to try to find him, but you didn't give Nate a picture? I mean, a description, something. He 5'10", 4'6", 7 feet tall. I mean, come on. What is he looking for?
Exactly. And I'm like, so she was able to do research about Nate, but couldn't do research to try to find her child?
Oh, that's a good point, too. You tracked this man down looking all up in his life, but you couldn't track your own son.
He's been missing for years. Years.
Yeah. And speaking of research, T, I know how hard you work when you do research looking for spoilers and castings. Have you found anything on who the actor is?
No, no. And I've been talking, Bria and I have been saying that we're wondering who the actor is that's going to play this Damien character.
Yeah.
Because I remember you did bring up a couple of months ago the casting call where they said they were looking for an African-American male actor. So I'm thinking that casting must be this character.
That's what I'm assuming too. Right.
Yeah. Okay. So it's surprising that we haven't gotten, because now that he's being mentioned on the show, you would think it would only be a matter of time before we get him, and you would think we would get him during November sweeps. So the fact that the actor hasn't been revealed yet is kind of surprising.
Well, this is just officially the first week of sweeps, so we still got about 3 weeks to go. So I would hope, and I didn't see anything in the spoilers about Damien for the week of the 11th through the 15th, but maybe the week after, maybe we'll get a hint on who Damien is or who he's being played by. Yeah, I'm curious to find that out big time.
And this is just me, just as like, 'cause I have a small son. There's just no way, I don't care how old my child is, I would go years without knowing where he is.
Right.
Like, if he's been missing, if he's presumed missing, the whole world is going to know. His picture will be up. I'm contacting the police departments, FBI, CIA, whoever, so they can try to make sure they find my son. Especially if it's been years. I can see, like, if he was deployed over to the military or whatever the case is, I would understand that. At least
Mm-hmm.
I know where he's at. She has no clue where this man had drifted off to, but she has time to research about Nate and was
Right.
able to find him in Genoa City, but not her child.
Yeah, that part didn't make sense. It's and then the hair. Where do you get that hair from? So you haven't seen this boy in years, but you kept his hair from what, 5, 6, 10 years ago?
Exactly.
I know
Scam.
where she got that hair from. She got that hair from at whatever hotel she's staying at, and he over there waiting. That's where she got
That's a good
the
point,
hair from.
Jay.
But Medora Bohannon said something very interesting. She said she thinks Damien is coming in with Elena, who we have been told is coming back, right?
That
Wouldn't that
would
be
be
interesting?
interesting because his half brother would be dating his ex if that's the case.
Exactly. That would be a twist.
Yeah, it would be.
Especially since the man who raised Damien was a former doctor. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he could have medical connects. But
Mm-hmm.
V. Carter made a very valid point. Nate is a doctor and an executive. He's not a detective.
Mm-hmm. It just doesn't. That whole. It's something stinks about that whole thing. And Jay, you said something interesting. She don't look that sick because after she left talking to him, she's finna sashay around town looking for her friends.
Mm. I need them to bring in Nate's mother
Olivia?
because
Olivia, huh?
yes, because she would know about the history of this woman, right? Because wasn't it at some point revealed that she was having the relationship with him? So I thought that part was at least known, right? Back
Yeah,
then.
I would think so.
So I would think that his mother could give him some kind of insight onto the character of this woman and if she's even trustworthy or not. Now,
Right.
maybe her opinion would be biased, but at least hear her opinion.
Right.
We
Yeah.
can't even get her like on a teleconference or anything, like a little Zoom call, like they did with JT a couple of months ago.
I don't
And
know.
Jill?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and Jill, but
Yeah,
yeah.
they did that with Jill on the regular. Yeah.
I guess we'll have to see what happened in the next few weeks or whatever with bringing this guy on and Elena coming in. Who knows? They might not even be connected at all, or maybe they are, and this is a twisted plot that they could use, which obviously is going to make Nate feel, I would assume, some kind of way because his brother or half brother, his date would be dating his ex if that's the case. You know what I mean?
I wish. I mean, I do like this storyline. It is interesting. It is intriguing how they're doing it. But I wish it didn't have to come at the Winter's expense because we're not too far removed from when Colin got Devon's money, and then you had all the list. Like, leave that family alone. Can they just be happy for a little bit before you bring in another con or
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that
They
makes
dealt
sense.
with nothing but con artists. Kane
Yeah.
was a con artist.
Mhm.
Hopefully they speak through this though. I did like the fact that Nate just flat out asked her, is this a scam in certain words? So at least they got him being cognizant that this could be that. And hopefully he talks to Devon and Lily about it even
Right.
more.
Right. All right. Now we got to talk about this service because Wednesday's episode was all about Heather's service. And Sharon got on my nerves because I think that you and I, Bree, we were saying, yeah, that was Thursday's episode. Wednesday going to, yeah, that was
Wednesday.
Thursday. Oh no, it was. Oh yeah, no, it was Wednesday. You're right.
It was one of those 2 days.
Yeah, it was Wednesday. And so when you and I were on the midweek chat, whatever date it was before. So it must have been that Tuesday we was talking. You might have came in on the midday. We were saying how Sharon better not go to that service. And what did she do? She went to the service even after having Nicholas say to go home. Faith said maybe you should be here. Daniel straight up told her to her face, I don't think I want you to be there. And then he even spilled the beans talking about how Phyllis is going to confront her and all this stuff. And she still, after all of that, say, I think I need to be there. Well, everything that happened after that, After I was like, you know what? Whatever happens, you get whatever comes your way.
And all it did was raise suspicion because now even some are thinking, okay, maybe my mom has a point. Maybe she is right. She, I don't understand, and this is a production question. Why they even? I understand why they had Sharon, but there was no purpose for Nicholas or Faith to be there. Lucy and Heather's daddy should have been there, or even her brother. Why was there no mention of Dylan that he lost his sister?
That's a good point. There's no. I don't even understand. I think this was backwards. They should have sent Lucy away after the service. Why would you send her away without her saying goodbye to her mom?
True.
That made no sense to me. And then Paul, we've been saying about the Paul's situation. Oh, and then they mentioned him. Oh, he's doing better. He's still recovering from everything with the heart attack back in Portugal. That man should have been there to say goodbye to his daughter.
Yeah. That was just poor execution. Like, just there could have been plenty of time if for whatever reason, I don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes with Doug Davison and Y&R and CBS, but the character is still being mentioned. They could have recasted the character even for this moment, because in all actuality, Heather didn't have her family except for Daniel there.
Yeah.
She didn't have her brother there, her daughter, her daddy, her mother, nobody.
Yeah. And I do understand why Nick was there, because he always, remember we were saying that, he tries to be the confidant to both Phyllis and Sharon.
He tried, he failed. He picked a side already weeks ago. He chose Sharon.
I mean, and he would have been there just for Daniel, right? Because him and Daniel still have, a fairly good relationship. Even after everything that happened with his daughter, him and Daniel seem to have a good rapport with each other. So he would have just been there probably to support Daniel as well.
Yeah, but one person that shouldn't have been there was Sharon. She should have kept her butt home.
Yeah, for sure. Her conscience alone should have kept her from going.
And go ahead, Bree. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, I was going to say, Nick has a good relationship with Daniel because that's Summer's brother. Like, I think he'll be respectful and cordial because that's Summer's brother. But even he shouldn't have been there, in my opinion. That girl's family should have been there.
Yeah, instead of those other folks. And then the service afterward, because Michael and Lauren was there, and of course Michael was trying to check with Christine, because Christine was there too, to find out how the case was going, because obviously Phyllis wanted him to keep tabs. But she figured, I gotta say, she was ingenious by using this way to get under Sharon's skin, because her kids thought that she was about to do something crazy. But it actually lined up with the events of the day, where she wanted everybody to get up and speak about all of the memories and things about Heather. And boy, that was eating Sharon up in that corner.
Yep. And everyone's seen this. And she could have avoided this. She could have avoided any attention on herself.
Yep.
But no, she just had to be there, just like an idiot. Sheila wouldn't do this.
I mean, the girl got to the bottom of the stairs, and you would think that somebody had hit her in the stomach. I mean, she was collapsing over there. And then Phyllis came up behind her and say, admit it. Just admit it. You knew you did it. And I got to give it to the ladies, both Michelle Stafford and Sharon Case, because the acting in that scene was impeccable.
Yeah, they're both incredibly talented actresses. This was a great scene.
And when they get together in like those kind of scenes, those kind of moments, it's always like fireworks. Like they really work great together.
I can imagine when they said and cut. And they probably laughed and hugged each other and like, oh my God, that was good, girl. You know?
Yeah, I can see it happening exactly like that.
I mean, that's a coworker of 30 years. Like I couldn't only imagine. I mean, they know the ins and outs by now about how they act, how they can react, riff off of each other. I think it just shows how talented they both are.
But the emotion in their faces. I mean, Sharon looked like she was about to fall apart, and then the begging in Phyllis's face, like, please, just say it. I was like, wow.
Yeah. But this is the thing. Oh, V, yes.
What's she saying?
Thank you, V Carter. V Carter said 100% recast Paul, plus he could be badgering Chance, but a valuable police resource trainer to the inexperienced Chance. Do you know what? He could have been the main, instead of Phyllis badgering Chance, it really should be Heather's father being like, why are you not looking into this? Why are you not checking this? Like, that would have been really great interaction. I would have loved that. But that would require intelligent writing.
You say it requires intelligent writing. Yeah, because they've been writing some questionable things. Like that. Like I said, that thing with Lucy, that's just backwards to me.
Yeah, she should have been able to honor her mother. But what did they say? That Danny and Lucy are gonna honor Heather in their own way. Like, there's no excuse.
Right.
If Danny was able to go on B&B and lip sync to a remix old 1980s track, he could have came back to Genoa City with Lucy so she can honor her mother.
Right. Yep. All right. Did you have any more on that, Jay?
No, I agree with what you and Bree said perfectly.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. What you finna say, something, Bree?
I was gonna say, Kareem Jamal Lewis, you're a new face. Hi, welcome to Silk Corner Talk. He said Dylan is in witness protection. When is he in witness protection?
Yeah, remember he was on an undercover case, and that's why he had to like leave Sharon and everything. I remember that's how he was written off the show.
10 years? Oh, okay.
Wow.
So he should have been. He should know his sister's gone bad anyway.
And I mean, it's like not like they had a lot of time to bond. You know what I mean? So to risk, him putting his identity out there wasn't necessarily worth it.
Yeah.
That's true. All right, moving on. Kyle and Diane have it out. So Diane decides that she wants, she made this plot with Victor. And then, of course, Nikki wasn't having it because she's trying to protect Jack. And then it gets back to Kyle because Victor spills the beans that, you need to go talk to your mama, which is why I don't need you over at Glissade right now. And now he's pissed off. They get into a whole argument in front of everybody, of course. And now we also saw that whole phone conversation, which leads us now in the spoilers for the 14th and the 15th. With, spoiler alert, Diane and Jack get busted. So.
You were right, Jay.
Yeah. and Bree too. I gotta give Bree her credit too.
I was halfway right. I think we all were right.
Yeah.
I just couldn't see Jack, but when you said the spoiler, I was like, oh, okay. Well, Jack is a part of this is some talented acting coming from Jack.
It was just too much of a pivot. I mean, these two were in love with each other. And then all of a sudden they're fighting and he wanted to know him and she need to get out. That's why Tracy didn't believe it. Because it's like y'all made a 180 just like that. You know what I'm saying? And plus all these public displays of these arguments that they were having. They wanted everybody to see Otherwise, because every time they argue, it was always in front of somebody.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of the soapies, because they were saying that in the chat for the last several weeks, like, oh yeah, Jack and Diane is working together.
Oh, you're not gonna fool the soapies, not
Nope.
for a minute.
Nope. You're not gonna fool them at all. But then we had Victor's surprise. I guess a way to calm down Nikki, because she was mad about, coming after Jack. And took her over to the ranch and blindfolded her. And it kind of taps into the Friday episode where we got a whole bunch of flashbacks for the last 44 years. And the refurbished ranch. What y'all think about all that? It was nice.
It was nice. I gotta hand it to Victor. He know how to shut his wife up some days, because like when she was on to this man about him going after Jack and about the whole Glassad thing, he's like, oh well, and when she wanted to try to go back to Newman Media, he shut her up with, oh, I'm going to get Chancellor for you. Oh, okay, Victor, thank you. You're the greatest hit ever. You my baby, my baby, my baby. And then after she leaves the hotel with Diane, and I love how Dan was like, look, you need to pick a side, girl. You can't have both men. She goes to him and is like, you better leave Jack alone. He blindfolds her, take her to the ranch. She's like, oh my God, Victor, you always surprise me. My baby, my baby, my baby. Like, this is, he know how to get his wife. He know how to pivot his wife in a completely different direction. I love that.
Well, he got to overcompensate in other ways, so,
Yeah, from what we know. And I love how he didn't answer her question.
Look, he don't want to have to throw his back out, so.
Yeah.
What you said, Jay? Oh. So he had to overcompensate and buying companies and houses and stuff.
And he had to make sure he keep her quiet and just happy and off his tail. I love how he didn't answer her question. She said, you promised me that you're not going to harm Jack. And he's like, look, I promise you that the next explosion that happens won't affect our family.
Oh, man. What you got, Jay?
Yeah, I actually really liked those scenes too. It really did have a nostalgia vibe to it. Watching them all come inside the house, and their eyes lit up, and seeing the flashbacks, and yeah, it really does look exactly like the old ranch. So it was really cool actually seeing that.
Medora Bohannon said that I've been hanging out with Jay too much. I didn't say anything. I just said he was overcompensating with all of the extravagant gifts because he don't want to throw his back out. You got to keep her happy somehow.
Him just trying to may make him throw his back out. So he absolutely has to overcompensate with the gifts.
And $1 billion. Yeah,
and $1 billion, exactly.
And this is the most insecure man in the world. Anytime Nikki brings up Jack, he feels like he has to overcompensate to divert her attention away from Jack.
And Nikki didn't got around, so
Nikki is Genoa City.
It's a big old billboard of her when you enter the city lines, Bree. Welcome to Genoa City, and it's just a big billboard of Nikki.
I mean, we did see the 40 years. I mean, we seen the 40 years of work that she put in, and then she still made her way to Victor.
Every time she made her way back to her man.
Listen, Nikki ain't going nowhere. She got a high value man right now, so she like, shoot, I'm right here until she wants to get her way and have Jack as her friend. This is going to be a whole problem. And like you say, Bree, insecure.
Yep. Exactly. Ever since that incident happened in that hotel, he been insecure. He been blaming Jack. He got Lasad. This is all because of Nikki. And
Mm-hmm.
she's slowly realizing that. And he was and when she brought up the whole thing, like, oh, you're the silent investor of Lasad, he was like, you just now getting around to that?
Right.
like majority of Genoa City knows this.
I know,
Oh,
right? Oh
but
man. So, once she got to look at the house, we got all the flashbacks and everything from the good, the bad, and all of that stuff. The kids came over. So, Nicholas, Victoria. I was surprised Adam was invited, but he was. Abby and Devon, and of course, we heard Devon come in and say, "Hi, Mr. Newman."
Oh,
And yeah, and then Claire was like, "What's this place?" And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, obviously you don't know about the place." But the conversation between Devon and Victor, what did y'all think about that? Because Victor is still trying to tell Devon, you need to tell your sister to carry her butt back over to Winters. Get out of the way. And and Devon like, she grown. I can't tell her what to do. What's y'all thoughts on that conversation?
yeah. I liked that one better. I felt like Devon stood up a little bit more with that one, but I still would have liked to seen a bit more. But yeah, I did like it when he did tell him. Not only did he say she's grown, I can't tell her what to do, but he also said it should be her choice.
Right.
We shouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, he even asked him, he said, you wouldn't like that. And we all know how much Victor likes control. He doesn't like to be told what to do. But yet, Victor is trying to sway her over there. I think she deserves, I think she should be at Winters, right? And you can easily see through Victor's game of why he was really saying that.
Right.
And then seeing Neil, like, it's kind of slimy, so I'm glad that he told him that, no, it should be her choice.
Exactly. Go ahead, Bree.
I had issues with when Yvonne said that. I'm like, this girl don't have a choice. She's unemployed. She doesn't want to be second in command. She feels that she deserves a position at a company that she has no family ties to, none. And she feels that she is above her own family's company. And she feels that she's going to outsmart Victor, Jill, Billy, and whoever's in her way. She's trying to vie for a position that's not for her. She's never going to get that. So she doesn't have a choice.
Right, exactly. And then we saw the conversation between Victor, Nicholas, and Adam. So I was wondering that too. I said, now that they got the ranch, are they going to get rid of the old house where that dungeon that Jordan was in was under? And
That's like broccoli sprouts, or
yeah,
whatever
the
that
broccoli
was.
seeds,
Brussels sprouts.
the Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
And so he tried to give it to Nicholas. Nicholas said, "Nah, I'm good. Me and Christian, we just gonna stay put." And then Adam came over there wondering what they was talking about. And, Nicholas was like, "Why don't you take the house?" And look like, I'm assuming that Adam might have a new place to stay. Because right now, don't he has that condo that Lily and Billy used to have.
True.
So if he goes over to the ranch, that's a new house available. And there's two people that's stuck over at the GCAC, Audra and Summer. So
Audra, Summer, Phyllis.
If Summer had her way, she'd be right back in that Jabot mansion and back in Kyle's bed. So
dang,
she working her way there.
Yeah, she's definitely trying to pull
maybe that's where Damien. Maybe that's where Damien ends up staying.
I don't know. That's gonna be interesting. I'm curious. They playing musical chairs with these houses. So what's gonna happen to that apartment that Sally was in there with Adam, but now he's by himself, and him having that big old house on the ranch. Obviously, they're making room for Connor and maybe Chelsea.
That's what I was thinking. He obviously, I think, would take it because that ranch has been very therapeutic for Connor. So I think that's going to be the main reason why he's going to take it. And then the minute I saw that today, I was thinking, yeah, it looks like they making that the place where Chelsea and Adam are going to end up, because it's basically looking like Chelsea and Adam are having a Victor and Nikki type relationship where they keep breaking up and getting back together again. And so they really truly looking like them now, going to live over at that ranch.
So
I was surprised, and I said this in the group chat when I watched the episode. He didn't offer that to Victoria, and she lost her whole house because of Jordan last year.
That is true. I mean, she's right now at the Tack House. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm wondering if that's going to come up like next week or something. Well, Victoria knows. No, because it was only Adam and Nicholas over there with him.
Yeah. He offered that to Nicholas, and he has a whole house. And then just like by chance, Adam just walked into the room. He's like, "Oh well," and Victor didn't even ask him. Nick says, "You might as well take the house. I'm not going to take the house." And Victor's like, "Oh, that's not a bad idea."
Well, yeah.
So he didn't even want to originally give that to Adam.
That is true.
Jenna said Victor told Adam that Chelsea is the only one he should be with.
Yeah, that was that last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like a week or so ago.
That's surprising to see Victor have that, kind of comment, given how he's treated Chelsea over the years. But
he's the last person to give relationship advice.
Tell me about it, especially when we saw in them flashbacks he cheated on her with Ashley.
He probably sees Adam and Chelsea, like I was saying, he probably sees Adam and Chelsea as the new generation version of him and Nikki. The getting back together, the fighting, the doing brutal things to each other, and then falling back in love. So he probably does see those two as Nikki and Victor 2.0.
Who knows? But other than that, it was a pretty, I guess, interesting week. What would y'all say?
Yes.
It was pretty good.
Pretty good. Overall, if I were to give it like a grade, I give it a B+.
Okay, so let's do it because they like giving grades in the chat. So, yeah, I give it a B. Oh, let me put my little B in there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I would give it a B for this past week. It was pretty decent. Sharon got on my nerves. Lily got on my nerves. Amy, she's up to something. Like Jay said, his dude might be sitting over there in the hotel and say, "Here, cut up some hair and take this over there." Crazy.
But for the first week of the sweeps, it's not bad. I'll give it a B+. There was definitely some great acting with Michelle and Sharon. And Michael Grosade, who plays Daniel, great acting.
Gail Lewis said nobody mentioned Sally and Billy. Okay.
They weren't
reason why for that.
What'd you say?
I said there's a reason why for that.
Why? What's your reason why, Jay? It was boring.
I don't think anybody really cares about.
They're just not. They're not exciting to me. I mean, that's just me. I'm not really interested, I guess.
It's lazy.
Yep.
They put the two exes of the two people that just broke up with them together. Like, that's always a lazy move.
Yeah.
It could work in some instances. I'm not saying it doesn't work in some instances, but a lot of the times that's done in a lazy way. Like, if they would have I would have been more interested in that scenario if they would have did something with like Chance and what's the girl's name? I always forget her name. Devon's girlfriend. No, the one that when they walked in on when they walked in on Devon and Abby. What's her name? Hillary's sister?
Amanda.
If they would have did something with Chance and Amanda, that probably could have, been interesting. Like that. But because that would have been something new, that would have been. But the Billy and Sally thing is I'm just not vibing with it.
Me either. I'm just not interested. And as I've always said, I think Sally needs to go back to Bold.
Yes. Clearly, she needs to do that. I mean, what were they do? What was Sally and Billy doing? Just telling dad jokes at the bar?
And putting on fake teeth. And then he got upstairs and she was like, "Nope, good night." and he got a message from Lily and got into it with her. That was it.
Yeah. No, he had a message from his mom.
Oh, his mom to talk
And
to about Lily, the position.
yep.
Yep. Yep.
See, Sally definitely should be back to Bold. And something that I would love to see if they did do this, especially with her getting back into fashion. Um, when you bring Thomas back, and if they have to end it with him in Paris, I would love to see Matt get a chance to work opposite of Sally, because I don't think Matt's Thomas got a chance to be with Sally. Right? It was the Thomas before him. So that would be interesting to put Sally and Thomas back together if Thomas comes back without Paris, and then you send Sally back to Bold.
Yeah, it's just not to me. There's not enough besides what she got the Emmy for, which is the loss of the baby. But outside of that, I just don't see where they gave her a very impactful storyline. She was hot with Adam back in 2022, but that was it, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then she was playing two in the middle
In 23.
with brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she lost the baby, and then she got back with Adam. And don't get me wrong, I love Courtney Hope. I absolutely love her. I have absolutely no reason why. Why did they let her go at Bold? Like that made absolutely no sense to me. It still doesn't. She's a whole fashion designer in Genoa City. We haven't seen no fashion designs from this girl.
Nope.
None. Or Chelsea, for that matter.
Nope.
And they broke her and Wyatt up for Fell and Flo, and then got Fell and Flo up out of there so quick. So that was a whole waste.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then the thing is, her legacy, or her namesake, is originally one of the staple characters on Bold, which was the OG Sally Spectra.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. We're missing out. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say she needs to go back where her roots are from.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I watched a lot of the old seasons. I'm in season 8 right now. Well, actually, season 9. We need to see that confrontation. Like Steffi and Sally should be going head to head, just like their grandmothers did. Well, Sally's aunt and then Steffi's grandmother. The fact that they're namesakes and they're on 2 separate shows, there should be no reason why we shouldn't get that now, where they're going head to head in the fashion world on Bold, as it should be. Like, what's the whole point of giving them the namesake?
Right.
Oh my God, I have an idea. I know we're not quite on Bold yet, but you saying that just made me think of something. I actually would like to see something a little bit opposite of that. Instead of Sally and Steffi going head to head, what if Steffi brought Sally back to take Hope's spot, since she's gotten rid of Hope for the future, and she brings Sally in and gives her own line, working at Forrester? I think that would be a great story.
That would be interesting.
And then if Carter ends up doing this thing where he starts his own company and then maybe gives Hope a line over there, that's where you can have the competing companies that we've always asked for. And you can have Hope potentially maybe picking off designers. Maybe Zende goes over there, because you saw how Zende approached Steffi today and said, "Will I ever be?"
Okay, wait, slow down. You're going into a whole recap.
Oh yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we got to get into Bold. We might as well just go ahead and switch over. How many people in the chat, Bree?
We had 138 in the chat and 70 likes.
Nice. Okay, so make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow on all of the other platforms: IG, TikTok, X, Facebook groups, and Threads for the spoilers. And yeah, and stay tuned for the full spoilers on this channel this weekend, as usual. We now got to talk about Bold and the Beautiful. I'm going to give a summary, and then I'm going to let Jay pick up where we left off. All right. Okay, so for Bold and the Beautiful for November 4th through the 8th, Brooke learns that Hope was fired and that Ridge ordered her out of the building. Brooke confronts Ridge about Hope's firing, and Carter vow to take action against the Forresters. Brooke and Ridge knock down, drag out fight. I don't know about that. Ends in tears, and Carter and Hope make love. Carter informs Steffy that he won't allow her to fire Hope. And Will gets to know Elektra. And then Carter's confrontation with Ridge leave him seething, and Luna is delighted by Poppy's breakup with Bill.
Petty.
Mm-hmm. She's a petty. All right, where you want to pick up where you was at, Jay?
Yeah, I'll make it brief so we can actually get into what happened since this is just a what if. But yeah, just thinking about kind of what Bree was saying and us always talking about Sally needing to go back to Bold. I think that is kind of like a perfect fit if you think about it. If she's able to carry out the firing of Hope and keep that and keep that intact, then a beautiful thing to do would be to bring Sally in. You have her replace Hope, for that demographic, because they're around the same age, and Hope and Sally is an actual designer herself, as opposed to Hope just being the face of the line. So she could bring in Sally, have a whole rollout. That would just make Brooke and Hope incensed, right? So you do that. Eventually, if Thomas comes back, most likely maybe without Paris, you could put those two together. Like, you could really drive Hope kind of mad. If Sally comes and she takes her spot at the company and she gets her man, I mean, you could kind of make a Hope-Sally rivalry to go along with Steffy and Hope's rivalry. And I've seen people in the comments saying that Steffy doesn't like Sally. She hates Sally just as much as she likes Hope. If Sally's helping her bring all of that down on Hope, she's not going to be an enemy of Sally anymore. She's going to love Sally for helping her do that.
Right.
Steffy doesn't like anybody. Like, everybody is an enemy to this person.
You said everybody is an enemy.
Oh, one last thing too. I think a big mistake they did with the Sally character when they had that big fashion contest out in Rome or wherever they were, and Bill fixed the results. I always felt like that should have came out. I think that kind of ruined Sally's character, because at that point she had been screwed over so many times, and I think she really needed that win. She actually did legit win it, and he fixed it to make it look like she did it. I felt like that was a mistake, and that kind of helped messed her character up.
Well,
if y'all remember that.
Yeah, I remember. Yep. Yeah, I remember. All right,
they were on the boat.
What you say, Bree?
So they were on the boat when they did the fashion thing.
Mm-hmm. Right. All right, so Brooke found out that Hope was fired, and all of that comes from that conversation that both Hope and Carter, well, you mean Hope had with Carter and Brooke, because she finally broke the news about everything. And that's when they went to the house on Friday. Well, no, they got in the car. And Bree, we thought that they were going to do the love scene on Monday. And I know you were asking us, did they do it? And they ended up doing it on Wednesday. But they ended up going to Brooke's house.
Yep. And that's what I said last Friday. That she went straight to her mammy to cry and complain.
Yeah, she went over there. And then Hope had to now come clean to say, well, that lingerie I had on was for Carter. And Carter was like, look, why don't we just go up in there and say something? No, Hope wants to control the narrative and move how she wants them to move. So now everybody got to keep a secret, including her mama. And then that's when that confrontation happens on Tuesday. So what did y'all think about that conversation over at Brooke's house?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot of simping going on.
Look at that picture at the bottom left of Carter. Like,
yes. I would not allow them. It's so dramatic. I loved it because it was so soapy. Mm-hmm. They won't get away with this. The smoldering look. That's like soaps 101. Give them that smoldering, hateful look.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But go ahead. But Yeah, I mean, to me, I just think, I mean, obviously they want to, drag this out to be one big old hot mess of a situation, because I just think she needed to do is just tell Steffi, even though she had four opportunities, even though she lied and said, I didn't get the chance to explain. They asked you four times. Who was it for? And she didn't say anything. She was looking like a deer in headlights. So she want to keep this thing a secret so bad.
On top of that, she's trying to make it seem like, oh, it's a Steffi's been done it. Like she doesn't like the Logans. Like she hates us. She took any opportunity to fire me. I'm like, girl. First of all, you could have called this man, because when she was trying to explain all this to her mom, she was like, I was waiting for you, Carter. I was waiting for you in lingerie, Carter. Like, you could have called this man. It really would have been simple. Better yet, you could have locked the door.
Right.
When she was on that tape on the desk, last week with Carter, she was telling this man, lock the door. Like, where were you at to lock the door to put your mama's lingerie on?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she needed to keep the door unlocked so he could walk in.
She could have called this man. Better yet, she had a house on her mama's front yard that she could have went to and put it on.
But see, none of this makes sense, because the thing is that we already kind of discussed how they got Finn in that office last week, but she was not ready, and it was less than a week ago. Now it took, well, let me see. Well, I can't say that, but she didn't want to do it at the house where he had a fireplace ready. He was getting ready to go. She was the one that unbuttoned his shirt first, and of course she stopped. And I know there was a lot of controversy last week. Then you decide to get to an open office where you claim you want to keep the relationship a secret. To get undressed in said open office that traffic runs through like Grand Central Station. Models, interns, anybody could have walked in that room, including Finn. And she chose to put on some lingerie instead of, let me call this man and say, listen, I got a surprise for you. Meet me at your house. I'll be there in about 25 minutes because I got a surprise for you and I need you to, handle the business. That would have been a non-issue, but no, she had to do that right there in that office, and the rest is history. To me, I still think it's a little bit of sloppy writing, but that's just my opinion. But what do y'all think about that? I know, Bree, you said what you had to say. What about you, Jay? I mean,
well, first of all, T, I need to ask, why do you sound so convincing when you say that? That makes me think you've done that yourself personally.
What?
When you say meet me at your house in 25 minutes, you just had such an air of convincing. Like it sounds like you've said that before. But moving on, moving on. Yes, we talked about this. She could have easily went to that man's apartment and done all of that. But I've told you guys the answer. Hope has an office fetish. When she was at that man's condo before, I think that's probably why she stopped it. She looked around and saw there was no desk. So she had to wait till he was back in the office because she needs a desk and she needs an unlocked door because she wants to be seen. I think she has an office fetish, and she might be a bit of a voyeur and wants people to catch her, because I don't know why she always wants to have her relations in that office room.
I thought that was an exhibitionist.
Yes, exhibitionist. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Even still, Phil, I'm sorry, Jay. Like, even still, like, this woman, she could have said anybody. Like, but she rather put the blame on Steffi. I want to read this from Red Nax. Yes, I see it, Red Nax. He said, Bree, that's so true. Finally, somebody said it. Steffi has a problem with everyone. Thank you, which is the truth. Like, if you know that you're working on it and you're walking on a tightrope over at your job and your line is on the line, and anybody can walk into that office, anybody. And then someone actually does. You can say anybody. Say Casper. J Money, she could have used you. Like anybody. She could have said anybody, any name to save her life, save her job. She chose not to do that. She just stuck on stupid. And you just trying to give this girl the benefit of the doubt. She didn't know Finn was going to walk into that office. We know this. And Finn could have called his wife too. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. But even still, like she clearly has an office fetish, like you said. She also has a fetish for getting caught, but she's not making any real business sense. That she's not trying to be smart about this. She doesn't care about her line, to be honest. She was even perfectly fine. Like maybe I don't want to go back. Then what are you crying for?
She sure did when she got back to Brooke's house before Brooke got there when she was with Carter. Well, maybe I don't want to go back. And I'm like,
She said that for a split second, and then Carter went right back to saying he was going to fight for her to stay there, and she's nodded her, okay.
I know,
So what was the
right?
point of even saying all of that?
Yeah, it's like the words of affirmation. I think whatever happened when she was standing up to, I mean, when Carter was standing up to them in that office on Friday, it got her fanny flutters going. And I mean, she was just like, oh my God, I'm hot. This man just blew my head up.
Yeah, when Carter stands up to Steffi and defends Hope like that, it hits that same trigger that Thomas hits when he says, I'm a one-woman man. It's that same trigger. So that part of her brain got activated when she saw that, and she went right to that office like a magnet and put that lingerie on and was waiting to surprise him.
Yeah, I mean, they already had got started on top of that desk. What was that, last week when Brooke walked in? It's like, how many times do you need to get caught before you realize maybe you should take that to the house?
And caught by your own mama. Like her mom got GPS on her daughter or something. Like she just happens to know what to do.
But it ain't her daughter. But
oh Lord.
But yeah, it's like Jasmine Williams said a little while ago. It's the thrill of getting caught, it looks like, for Hope. She likes that thrill of potentially getting caught.
Well, we also had Taylor thinking that Hope was playing the victim. Do y'all agree with her? A lot of people were saying that Taylor shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, Hope is playing the victim to an extent, but Taylor would have said that even if she wasn't, just because Taylor got a problem with the Logans anyway, so she has a very biased opinion.
And Taylor needed to sit there and just not say nothing. She's about to, Ridge is about to be handed over like a silver platter. She's about to get her man back. So her broken heart is about to be magically healed. Because Brooke is about to kick this man out of her house. Like, just sit there. Like, we know, Taylor, you're living for this. We know.
I know.
But what man would be on the scene for Brooke if she kicks Ridge to the side?
Okay, well, she takes
I don't think it would be Bill,
second.
just because of the whole situation with Katie, and plus. Well, I won't go for. I think Bill is going to be occupied, but we'll get to that later.
I cannot wait to get to that.
All right, which now moves us into the fact where we finally see the confrontation between Ridge and Brooke, where Ridge is defending Hope's firing to Brooke. So defending his daughter actually, because. When Brooke said that the two of them are equal, and he said not even close.
Ooh.
Yeah, that hit Brooke like a ton of bricks.
I mean,
you talk about the Lulu.
Yeah. And I was hoping that she would kind of break down as to how they're equal. I mean, Steffy is an owner, whereas Hope is an employee. And her legacy is through her dad. So her legacy is pizzas.
Right. Il
So,
Giardino. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not a bad thing,
Mm-mm.
but like even like this the entitlement. Like I understand Brooke has put her stamp on the company and the men of the company. I get that. So she solidified her legacy just in general. But Hope, I understand that she had a fashion line. I get that. But if she had a tie to that company, she would still be there. She wouldn't be kicked out like an employee. So her and Steffi are not one and the same. They're really not.
Mm-mm. What you got, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, it's Brooke saying that they're equal. I don't know where she got off saying that. Forrester. I mean, the names are right there. Like Steffi is inherited in that company through her lineage. Hope is not even a designer. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
she doesn't hold a corporate position. She doesn't design. She's the face. She's like the figurehead of a failing line. How do you even say that they're on even footing? So, I mean, the confrontation was pretty decent. I want to see where it goes though, because like you could still even see like trepidation on Ridge's part, and he's like doubling down because he knows he can't disappoint his daughter again.
Yeah.
Because she's thrown it in his face so many times that he's sided with the Logans over her. So he's kind of caught between a rock and a hard place right now. But I think he's only gonna go so far. As far as alienating Brooke. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
And then there was this whole term that came up talking about Hope's birthright.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, what do you mean by, how? RJ have more of a birthright to Forrester than Hope does.
Bridget, Rick, who else? Zende. And Zende brought that up too. Like, other people have birthright. Carter's brother has a birthright. There's other people. That's not her company. And even Hope has said that several times. So the birthright thing, if it's through Brooke is not even with a Forrester.
Right.
She laid down for a Forrester, but she's no Forrester wife at the moment.
Yeah.
Multiple, yes.
Yeah.
And Bridget Jackson, you bring up a valid point. I wanted to read what she had here. She said, Hope doesn't want Steffi all up in her business like she was before when she was involved with Thomas. She doesn't want Steffi in Carter's ear like Steffi was with her brother. I get that. I do. But this girl lost her whole job and her whole line. It was a domino effect because it affected the people that was working on Hope for the Future, like Zende. Like, it would be as simple as her saying, like, okay, I'm involved with Carter. It wouldn't affect too much of anything because there's nothing but in-office relationships. Even Ridge and Brooke are in an in-office relationship.
Yeah, you got a whole marriage between Donna and Eric. Katie and Carter used to date in that same office. She used to date Thomas in that same office. Everybody in there.
Mama dated everybody in that same office. So, and if you want to talk about birthrights, birthright is something that's passed on to you directly from your lineage. So the Forresters are not her lineage. If Hope's birthright is anything, it's a legacy of 304ing, prison, and pizzas. If we're talking about both her parents. So if she wants to talk about that, if she wants to talk about the men she's been running through this last year, and if she wants to talk about potentially going to prison for any reason like her daddy did, or making pizzas like her daddy did, then that's her birthright. 304ing, pizza, and prison.
Well, I just pinned a comment by Rednecks, and it says, Hope had a chance of becoming a Forrester if she accepted Thomas's proposal.
Oh.
Drop the mic, Rednecks. Drop the mic.
Round of applause for that.
She would have been more of a Forrester being Hope Forrester by being
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Forrester's wife.
Yep.
Yes.
It would have been married to that little whatever percentage Thomas had. It would have been a small percentage, but it would have been something. He would have had more than what you got now.
Even Douglas has a birthright to that company because Thomas is his father.
Mm-hmm.
Sure is. See, like, but she wasn't ready. She wasn't ready to be his wife. So, what is she crying about? What is she complaining about? Plain and simple. Like, she had an opportunity to be within that family, but she feels that because her mother had spread it low and spread it wide for all the Forrester men, that's supposed to give her her birthright, apparently.
Right. Your line is failing. What else have you done for that company? Hope for the Future has pretty much been her project as her being the face, but the heart and soul and the designs came from Thomas, and you didn't want him.
Yep.
So,
exactly.
What else have you done besides throwing people in the vat of acid? You know, going back and forth over Liam with Steffy.
Maybe making people sign away their rights. Or trying to make people sign away their rights.
Yep.
To their child.
Yeah, and then what the other thing about what she's doing, she's trying to make it look like the Logans don't have a leg to stand on in this company. And Carter is saying it too. And I'm like, they're getting rid of your line. Brooke bedroom line is still intact. What are you talking about?
And they're using her formula still.
And Donna's married to the founder? What are you talking about?
Yeah. So, and Katie still has employment.
Yeah, she works in this. She's head of PR. I don't understand, Hope. What's the problem? You're trying to play the little what they call that a perpetual victim.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she has access to Eric's ear. Both Brooke, Katie, Donna, they know they can always get to Rich because he sways his decision as the wind blows. Like, she has more access to the Forrester men and them getting to be on board for her than Steffy ever has.
Mm-hmm.
Should have said Dumma is married to Eric. I forgot about that nickname they came up with for that girl.
God.
Why y'all picking on her?
Yeah, so I mean she's trying to make herself this martyr and all of the Logans don't have any value and we don't mean anything to this company. And I'm like, have you been smoking something? Because
taking Sharon's meds.
Right, you've been taking Luna's meds, Sharon. You've been talking to Sharon too long. Did Jordan stick you in the neck with a needle? Something's going on with you that you can't see that because you are definitely delusional right now.
I'll tell y'all what though, Brooke must got that good because even Eric was getting a little simpish today, trying to defend her a little bit before he came down to earth. Like, oh, like goodness gracious.
Well, wait a minute. We got to back up a little bit because when Ridge walked through that door, he was, and we said this before, Bree, he was acting like he was a kid that got in trouble at school and then tried to put it off. Well, Steffi was the one that did this. I just walked her to the door.
I was like, sir. You don't want to get kicked out that house. He's like, I finally made it back. I'm not trying to go to my daddy's house. Nothing. Like he is terrified of Brooke. He's scared of his wife, and a little part of him is a little scared of his daughter too. He hates being in the middle. He really does hate it.
See, the only thing that was missing, you know, like when a kid come home from school and they got in trouble and they had their hands in their pockets and they got their head held down, and they look like they like kicking a rock because they don't want to look at you in the face. That was the only thing that was missing was him holding his head down with his hands in his pocket because he absolutely did look like a kid that just got in trouble.
Yeah, he's scared of that girl. And then and the thing is, she know it because every time she was talking to Hope and Car, oh no, don't worry, let me handle this.
Yep. every time. Every time. And he swings his decision. That's why Taylor and Steffy is like, well, don't let Brooke stay strong, Dad. Don't let Brooke change your mind. Don't let her bully you into a decision. Like, because they know Ridge will buckle for Brooke every time.
Now, she did try to push the envelope in that conversation on, what was that, Wednesday. And he clapped back. He did, there was a little bit of clap back in there. You know, and she kind of shut up a little bit because it's like, girl, you want him to take your side without any explanation. Just believe me. Just take my word for it. I don't have to tell you why, but just believe me anyway over your daughter.
Oh, Redneck said none of the Logans are actually married to any Forresters. Donna's the only one. She actually did get married to Eric. The day he proposed, that's the day they got married. That was recently.
Yeah, and actually that same dress that she got married in, she wore to Jennifer Gareese Jennifer Gareese wore it to the Emmys.
Yeah, she at least did something. She solidified the wife position, and she was a happy side chick for a little while. And then he got divorced from Quinn, and then he took her through all that health scare, and then he's like, okay, maybe I might marry you. I mean, it's a step up from being the secretary that she was for like 15 years.
Yep, I agree. All right. We did see a little bit of Will flirting with Elektra, which, you know, that is Joshua Morrow's twin.
Yes. Sounds like him, looks like him, same demeanor, everything.
But I think we'll get a lot more in depth with what's going on with Elektra next week because we saw that spoiler look like somebody is stalking or something. I don't know. That was weird. Then we had that confrontation between Katie and Steffy.
Katie, I'm like, she's not worried about her job either. I mean, she got $50 million in her bank account still.
Yeah, she ain't worried about no paycheck.
And on top of that, she still got a bill, a phone call away. Like, look, she said, I know I'm good. I'm going to walk into this office. And she's like, look, I need to speak to Ridge. I'm not even worried about speaking to you. I can get through to Ridge. It's amazing how they all know that they can sway Ridge ever so quickly and so swiftly. All the Logans.
Bridget Jackson said that Ridge is not scared of Brooke. He's scared of losing that thought pocket of hers.
Yeah.
If he loses that, he loses his smile.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing in our chat. That's really what it's about. He's not so much scared of Brooke, but scared of losing as she wanted his thought pocket.
Yeah.
But he has his precious Taylor.
Girl, he like Brooke more than Taylor. He like whatever Brooke putting on him. He likes it way more than what Taylor puts on him.
Yeah, apparently so.
Maybe they just need to have another chakra moment because she was definitely straddling him on his lap.
And she was cured.
and then what did he do? He went right to Brooke and had her reenacted.
Well, wait a minute. He didn't have her reenacted. Old girl got jealous and told him to do it with her.
True.
Yeah,
but he enjoyed it more than he enjoyed the one with Taylor.
Well, it didn't look like that time in Aspen. Looked like he had a good time up in the mountains with Taylor at that point.
Yes.
Ooh, that was a hot scene too.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was.
Krista Allen knows how to do those things.
Chris Allen used to be, who she used to be. So.
Right. Emmanuel. But anyway, Yeah, back to what we were talking about. Yeah, so Katie, she needs to take several seats, which she will probably at the end of the show.
Mm.
Um, Let me see. Okay, Wednesday, Ridge breaks Brooke's heart by telling her that Hope deserved the consequences of her actions. And yeah, Brooke wasn't happy about that one.
Yeah, she like, Rich, how can you do that to me? Like, these are my children. You're supposed to take the side of my children and not your own. I'm Brooke Logan. Like, I'm entitled to all of this.
You're right. Yeah, she entitled. All right. Also on that Wednesday episode is when we got two of the weakest makeout scenes that we've seen. We had Finn and Steffi on one couch, and then the commercial interrupted, and they came back and they were done. Now I gotta say, you guys, Bree, did y'all notice? And I thought this was really interesting. That what did she have? So I'll just drop it in. I'll drop it in the group chat. Okay.
Okay.
But then we had the scene over at Carter's place where man, we ended up watching from behind the fireplace.
So she leaves her mammy's house to cry and complain, and then she decides, okay, maybe now I want to go over to Carter's house.
Mm-hmm.
And before they even got busy, allegedly, because we didn't see anything, this girl had the gall to say, I love you. They both said, I love you. Right. I'm still stuck on that.
It doesn't surprise me that Carter said it because he does that, right? He fall in love in 5 minutes. But when it come to Hope, it took her 7 months to tell tell Thomas on his way out that she loved him at the 11th hour.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Several months.
Several months. 7, to be exact, girl. 7 months from June through March.
And this man was digging a hole. He was giving her rings, proposing every other episode. She wore this man's ring around her neck. And then he was out. He got the plane ticket. He was right out the door. And she's, oh, I love you. I love you, Thomas. I love what you do for me. I love you. I love you. I love you. She get with this man. She get with Carter. He stands up to Steffi. All of a sudden, I love you, Carter. Where have you been all my life? With less than a month. Less than a month.
Like V. Carter said, it was so fake. She rolled her eyes.
Yeah, I rolled my eyes too. Come on now. No. This is so. I'm so glad that Thomas left. I really am. I mean, I want the character to come back. Let me say that. But he left her. She put that man through all those hoops and she had the nerve to tell Carter, like, I haven't been with a man who's truly there for me, who loves me, who's there for me. Carter, where have you been all my life? Oh my God. Like, girl, Thomas was right there. He was ready to marry you. You could have been part of the Forrester lineage, but you weren't ready.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Bree, you said, she made Thomas wait 7 months despite everything he was doing, and you said he was digging a hole. Well, Carter must have been digging a bigger hole. He must have been giving him that big black shovel that made that girl fall in love a lot quicker.
Now, I got to give a shout out to the cameraman because when Carter ripped his shirt off, all we saw was abs and pecs. But that was it. Everything else, I mean, she took her dress off and sat on his lap. And then he, pulled her down on the couch. And then we got a blurry scene from behind the fireplace.
Why CBS won't let their daytime soaps be great?
Right.
Why won't they let them be great?
And you know what? Thank you, Jay, for giving us a little spice in our life with General Hospital.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I
I,
posted it on because somebody was saying it in the chat earlier before we got into bowl. But yeah, why is General Hospital cutting up? They had a whole scene where these two people, and y'all gave me the names. I forgot the names. Jay, what was the name of those two
Drew,
people?
Drew and Willow.
Drew and Willow. Drew and Willow got it on in the playroom. I mean, she got on top of that man, took the brassiere off, and was about to ride the surfboard.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
hmm.
like, bold. I even did a whole post on TikTok and on Instagram said, why in our B&B we need more of this. I sure did.
Yes.
On the
Is
floor with a sheet and the play. They had to have each other so bad they was in the playroom and didn't care.
Oh, Lord
look.
Jesus.
This was the messiest thing I've seen all year in comparison to both soaps on CBS. That little clip was the messiest thing. Like I just hope that girl washed them sheets before her babies lay up on them sheets.
I mean, and I even got to give props to GH for the music composition during that scene. That's some type of music I would normally find and put on the video edits that I would create. When I heard the music in the background, I'm like, dang, that's perfect.
Yeah. It was already there. Yep.
Mary, she said that Hope is using these guys to keep her line. She never considered her brother RJ or Zende contribution. You know what? She makes a very valid point. Every man that she Thomas had to keep resuscitating her line, and now Carter has to resuscitate her line, try to keep her, get her job back, and try to resuscitate her line. This is all centered around for hope for the future. Like, she genuinely doesn't really apparently feel anything for these men. She'll say I love you. Does she mean it? We don't know.
I think who she really ever loved was Liam.
Yep, I highly agree. And he put her through hoops back and forth between a whole other woman, but she fought for him. She had no problem going toe to toe with Steffy for him. If none of these other men are worth it unless she's fighting for him with another woman.
Okay, let me say this because I know y'all trying to give me a whole backstory about what's going on with Willow and Drew. I don't know the story. I don't watch GH. All I know is that it gave us a little spice in our life that we don't get on CBS.
And to all of y'all, let me double down on that. To all of you guys, I did follow. I still follow it somewhat, but yeah, I am very familiar with GH. I know all the particulars about, whose nephew and whose mother. I know all of that stuff, guys. I see them in the comments.
Yeah, because they was like, somebody said, ooh, that's gross. She's doing this with this person. I don't care. I just like the scene.
Yeah.
Just like the
But I know, guys, it's very messy. It is very messy over there on GH right now.
Medora makes a very valid point. Hope's lingerie was whack. Whatever she had on, I don't know if that's what she had on in the office, but this is what Carter was waiting to see.
No,
he was waiting to feel. So
he was waiting to feel, waiting to touch something.
I mean, as they call the sugar wall. So I hopefully it was what he expected. So.
Yeah, and Jasmine said Hope is not sexy. She's a failure when it comes to being sexy. Like, she can't seduce these men to save her life. She couldn't seduce Finn. She got herself all caught up at the office, and she lost her job because of some lingerie. She can't do this. She's not her mother.
Mm-mm.
Well, Bree, you saw how Anika dances, right? She doesn't exactly scream seductress with her moves, so...
Well, she got some rhythm the other day.
She definitely. She's going to be learning a little bit more rhythm as this continues on, I believe.
Rhythm, no blues.
Yeah, well, the next day, because she was standing at the bottom of them stairs, and she was talking about, man, that night was unforgettable. Really? Interesting. I wish we could have saw it, but
I know, right?
They gave us 4 days of soap just
Right.
last year.
I know. I mean, the biting, the scratching, the riding, the up against the bedroom door. I'm like, how y'all gonna take us there and then leave us hanging in 2024?
Yeah.
Now, T, did you notice she did do a little bit of the biting action on the kiss before? I think it was at the end of the Tuesday episode. Did you notice that she was doing a little bit of the biting action with Carter?
Just a little bit, but I need to ask you a question. Based on how she reacted after the morning after with Carter, and we remember her reactions after dealing with Thomas, do you think that Carter actually blew her back out?
That's a tough one because we were allowed to see Thope go at it. You know what I mean?
But it was a different. I mean, this
they didn't give them the same opportunity. I feel they weren't given the same opportunities as because like when she got with Thomas and she straddled him, and then we talked about some of the suggestive things it looked like she was doing. Like they really let them kind of go all out a little bit during that, and they didn't give us that with Carter and her. So I don't know if I can give a fair response to that because they weren't given the same shot.
I guess the thing is her reaction was like, "Oh man, that was a night to remember." Whereas with Thomas, she couldn't get enough of that dude
because they were still in bed. You remember? Like her response was immediate. Like they were still in bed.
Jay,
it's the morning after, and they're walking downstairs. So that's tough to compare.
Well, I mean, this girl couldn't wait to get it in the office when Thomas turned her around and threw her on that desk in the CEO office. Remember that?
Yes. So far, Thope has definitely been like hotter. It's definitely been hotter with the Thope.
Yeah. Even Sharon said the way Hope and Thomas even looked at each other was like, oh, baby.
Yeah, I agree with that. It didn't, like, this whole thing with Hope and Carter is just rushed. It's forced. Like, and it's contrived. This man apparently was thinking about Hope when he was with her aunt. Like, this is way too much, and it's hard to get invested with that. Like, if there was buildup, I can understand that. But we've been spoiled as a viewer with this girl running behind couches, having to wring out couches before her baby sits on it, like them getting it in all throughout the walls of Forrester Creations. Like we've been spoiled with her and Thomas.
Well, let me ask you this then. I'm gonna ask you both this right quick. Do you think her fantasies with Finn were even better than what we saw with Carter?
No.
Okay.
And I think they need to let Carter do to Hope what he was doing with Quinn. Show her lifting her up and putting her up against the wall. Like let him do those same actions to Hope that he was doing to Quinn. And then something else real quick. Aditha Lee just said in the comments she didn't see any chemistry between Thomas and Hope. She just thought it was a sick story. That's the only take I've seen like that extreme to say you didn't see any chemistry between Thope.
I mean, there was some people on like Soap social media that was not a fan of the two of them. Even though there was a lot of people that were.
Yes.
Including people that haven't even watched soaps before, because that was the same month where they were saying that there were even non-soap fans becoming viewers because of that storyline.
Aditha Lee says harder to me is much more believable than Thope.
Really? It was so, you don't think it was forced? It's quick. They did a pivot in September.
He was with her aunt saying that he was thinking about Hope over in Rome. Like that, they really.
Everybody's been with everybody's aunt or uncle or daddy.
But what we're saying, Jay, is that there's like a rewrite because they just threw that whole edit together back in Rome when that edit was specifically for Hope and Thomas.
True.
And then they cut him into it, cut Thomas out, and had, because that whole summer was all about Thope, and he was still with Carter. I mean, with Katie at the same time. So that's why it's like, how y'all gonna overlap and do a pivot and rewrite as if, he had this fantasy about her niece while being with Katie, and she's supposed to have been looking over at Carter. They just really try to re-edit all of that Rome thing.
Yeah. Rednecks, I agree. If only these couches can talk and these walls. Exactly. And Aditha also said, but it was a toxic passion that Thope had. It wasn't really a good union, and Thope seemed rushed and forced and unrealistic. This man hid her baby from her and made her feel her baby was unalive. There was a lot of layers to that cookie.
I wouldn't say the passion was toxic, though. She was fantasizing about this man for weeks, if not months, before she even let him know what she was feeling.
Yeah, her fantasies was part of the May sweeps for 2023.
And she had no problem fantasizing about that man while getting it on with her own husband, and then also cheating on her husband in Rome and wanting to keep it a secret. And it was enough for her to hand this man, Liam, divorce papers after spending almost half the day with Thomas. Took a nap and everything.
And even though Thomas keeping that secret was low down and dirty, and is one of the things I hate that they made his character do, we've seen women forgive men for way worse than soaps, and fell in love with them still. So,
well, that was the thing. They're making him the fall guy in that whole storyline when it was Buckingham and Felon Flo who actually committed a crime. He kept a secret. And he did it because he didn't want to break Steffi's heart by her knowing that baby that she had become connected to, that she adopted, was hers. Now, granted, it was wrong for him to keep that secret, but the nasty work or the crazy work that was done by Dr. Buckingham and by Flo. And they forgave Flo.
And I will say the Steffi aspect of it was secondary. His primary reason for keeping that secret was because he wanted hope. Because that was bad, Matt. That was bad, Thomas, at that point. So his main goal in that situation was trying to keep Hope separated from Liam.
Right. And plus, he wasn't the mastermind. He was the last to know, actually. And he got majority of the blame, and he didn't even mastermind this whole plan. It was just those two people, and Felon Flo collected a whole check to go along with it. But also, even since then, this man had went through like a brain aneurysm, and he had to have surgery. This man had went through therapy. We saw like a whole redemption tour before she got with Thomas.
Yep. So, it's just interesting. And I know a lot of people hate what he's done, and that secret was not a good thing, but to take $250,000 to sell underground a child and falsify documents as if you were the biological mother, that's a problem.
I agree. Elmira, exactly. Thank you for saying that. She said, whatever happened to Hope's headaches? Yes. All of a sudden, like, she's using these men. Anytime a man feeds her ego, she just finds a way to try to either lure those men in or to just either string these men along because they know they'll go with her because it's precious Hope. Her headaches are gone. I mean, her head was probably hitting the headboard the other day. But her headaches have been magically cured.
Them headaches went away when Steffi found out she kissed her husband and put the fear of God in her when she told her she was going to lose her job. So I think that's probably where them headaches went away.
Yeah, it was Jesus.
So then we gotta move to Thursday. So Steffi is not happy when Carter says that he won't allow her to fire Hope. And I'm like,
Mhm.
why does that sound like Brooke? You sure
Yep.
you ain't been running around with Brooke lately?
He was officially initiated into the Logan family now. He's using the catchphrases. He's all the entitlement.
Talking like
He's
the
a
whole,
full,
yeah,
yeah,
talking like Brooke now. Yep.
yeah. He's a full on Logan now. He's all he needs is just some blonde hair.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he won't allow them. I'm like, you do realize they're shareholders and they own the private, as they said, this is a privately owned company.
And California is an at-will state, right?
That
Can they
is
fire
correct.
anybody they want?
Yes, they can. Unless there's grounds, which obviously, which, we saw in today's episode where all of a sudden out of the thin air, Ridge started talking about tax issues that he need to take care of. I'm like, where'd that come from?
He was trying to let that man know, like, that is your job. Like, I asked you to take care of these LLCs. Like, why don't you focus on that instead of telling us how to run our company? I was like, oh.
Now
Okay,
I wonder
Ren.
if he had took that same statement and told Brooke that, what would have happened.
Ooh. Oh my goodness. I could only imagine. Bridge would be quiet. He wouldn't say nothing. He would have walked out. He's not trying to go toe to toe with Brooke. I wonder where he stayed at after that conversation with Brooke. You think he probably stayed on the couch?
You talking about at Brooke's house
With
or went over? Well, he didn't go over to Eric, so who knows where he stayed at? Probably did stay on the couch.
He didn't get any that night.
Nope.
Oh my goodness. And Rednecks said, okay, I guess have to say goodnight. Okay, Rednecks, he said, before I go, Bree, just know that you become a great actress yourself. Thank you, Subcorner Talk and J Money. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Rednecks. You
All
have a
right.
good
Good
night.
night,
Like,
Rednecks. And then what y'all think about Zende? Trying to make sense of all of this.
I felt for Zende. Because this was, like I said, this is a domino effect that affected him too. And he brought up a really good point. He said that this was his first opportunity to be a lead designer, a head designer for a fashion line. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, for as long as he's been there, he's never had that opportunity, and it was immediately taken away from him. That sucks. Mm-hmm. So I wish they could write a storyline, and writers, producers, I hope you're listening, where they give this man his own fashion line. If all these other designers on the show have had an opportunity to showcase their skills and have something, let Zende have something. Let him have a real legitimate storyline. You won't give him his mother. You had him go through all that cuckoo crazy stuff with Luna, and the character was trash, the actor was trash. Okay, redeem him and give him like a real storyline and give him a real opportunity as a designer. Like, they had this man be Brooke's social media campaign manager or something.
Right.
That was it.
What else?
And then, then they throw him back to Hope for the Future, only for it to be taken away from him. I felt for him.
Yeah. The other thing is Hope's face when Zende was confronting Steffi. She gets a rise out of people giving her attention, defending her. I'm like, yeah, she just keep putting batteries in these guys' backs. And they go and they fire off at Steffi or Ridge or whoever.
Yep, I noticed that too. She was looking like the Grinch for Christmas when she was sitting up there smirking when he started talking to Steffi and telling her, do you even care about me? Like, did you stop to think about me for a second when you decided to do this? And she sitting up there smirking like the puppet master. Like, he was doing her bidding.
I mean, but the thing is that he's a designer. I mean, he could always go over to Couture, work on Brooke's bedroom line. She wasn't going to do nothing with him. I mean, they were going to tank the line anyway because it's not doing well.
Well, their whole argument is that they know the last line didn't fare well, but they felt like this particular line with him being lead and him and RJ working together without the animosity of the Luna situation over their backs, I guess they had found a great chemistry and it really showed in their work. So that's one of the things that they keep propping up, that this line would have made a difference. And by him not getting his chance now, I understand why he feels the way he feels, because this would have been his first true opportunity where he felt like he actually did something that was going to make a difference.
But the thing is, they've given them a chance for the last 3 quarters. And even before the Luna stuff came out in September, RJ and Zende were working on that in the 2nd quarter, in the beginning of the 3rd. And it still ain't working. They were still rejecting orders and not searching for them. So, I mean, who's to say that this one is going to work in the 4th quarter going into the new fiscal year? I mean, at this point, and like we were saying about Claire wearing Hope for the Future clothes. I mean, her lingerie, we saw the lingerie in the studio. I mean, that when Finn was down there, it's just not it.
She got that from Dollar Tree.
Girl.
Look, them the sparkles, the bangles, everything, wherever she got that from. Like, if that came from Hope for the Future, look, she everybody knew from that point, like, she lost her mind. This was not supposed to be sexy or cute or anything. Claire cannot be the only buyer. Victoria can't keep buying all these clothes for her daughter to be wearing. Like, this all falls on Hope's vision. And I wanted to point out like a couple of comments real quick. V. Carter and Jasmine said Zende should do the men's line. And yes, and of course, Aditha, he's focused on his career. I do agree with that. He should be. Now, Mira said, don't you think Hope should have told the truth? Yes, and actually no. Yes, because it would have been able to save like the employees that are underneath Hope's job, and also like Zende would have had his opportunity. And no, because this girl's ungrateful. She feels entitled because of her alleged birthright through her mother, and her mother's not even a Forrester woman. Like, I wish they just give Zende like a different opportunity. Like you guys said, the men's line, you have him and RJ do a men's line or something, or have other opportunities to do that. But Hope at this point doesn't really deserve anything. She can't even take accountability for her own actions. She can't even open up her own mouth and saying who she's getting busy with and wearing lingerie for in the office after giving several opportunities to defend herself. But she ran some mammy.
And even Steffy said yesterday's episode that I wouldn't, it wouldn't, what is it? She wouldn't care if it was anybody else or something like that.
Yeah, as long as it wasn't her husband. Right. Okay, boom.
The door is open. Just say it wasn't him.
Yeah, like just... If she can't even be woman enough to do that, then she doesn't need her line. And at the same time, this woman has had this line since she was fresh out of high school. She didn't go to college. She was handed a fashion line courtesy of her aunt.
Mm-hmm.
And been trying to save it since then. Like, the only buyer is Claire.
Girl, you so funny. The only buyer is Claire. Girl, it's hilarious.
And whoever is buying Hope for the Future at Ross or TJ Maxx in the clearance department.
I know, right? Girl. I mean, that's the problem. They're acting like this is all personal. Do I think Steffi have issues with Hope? Of course. But she has been given her chance after chance after chance since Thomas has left He's the vision of her line, and he's no longer there. And it hasn't been working. So she need to figure out, and what she was doing, instead of, putting herself in a position to figure out what's going on with her line, she spent the last about 4 or 5 months running behind Finn. And then here come Carter, when you should have been focused on your line. I mean,
yeah, she's given herself, like, as much as she's self-absorbed, she's not remotely thinking of her line, and the designers are trying to design from her vision. So her vision is just ugly and distasteless. And who cares to wear that besides Claire?
Girl, you're so silly. We got to talk about Lunatic Luna and Poppy.
Yes.
So they're back, and Bill is back in the picture. And we had this little moment with Katie coming over there asking him to look at some investments that she's interested in, and then says, so how is it living in this big old house by yourself? And I'm thinking, like, don't Liam stay there?
Yeah.
He was living there.
Yeah, but she said by himself.
He
I don't tell you, nobody cares about Liam. Katie, though.
I can't
but
hear
I
you.
I wanted to ask y'all that, to touch on that real quick, because I thought it was kind of, and I know it'll probably just end up being a throwaway, but I thought it was interesting they even wrote that line in to say, I wanted you to look at some companies that I was thinking about investing in. I'm wondering, are any of those companies the companies that Carter was planning on Forster acquiring? And maybe he had her take a look at it, and maybe if things go the way we think they might go, maybe they'll just invest in it together. Maybe Katie's one of his investors that he's talking about, and either he was going to use her to bring it onto Forster, or maybe he'll work with her to get it for themselves now if they all end up leaving, because Katie does have that $50 million that Bree brought up earlier.
Jay, you were smart, man. Round of applause. Like, that would be genius writing. That would be. I would be intrigued to see that. But this is about Bradley Bell's vision, and he does not like for anything to make legitimate sense or to be entertaining thus far.
Yeah, but that was a good plot line you put together, Jade. I mean, that would be brilliant if they went that route, that, somehow those companies that she's interested in investing in got something to do with what they would tie into Carter.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic, because she would have a personal and professional investment with her niece. And then also, if they wanted to, just to mix things up, Carter could be in a love triangle with Katie and with Hope.
And I was asking, how is Katie going to respond when she does find out her? Because I know they're exes, but you know how it is. Sometimes you're still jealous when you see an ex move on, even if you were the one that decided to move on first. And I just wonder, how is she going to react when she does find out Carter and Hope are a thing?
Oh, Nightingale. I'm surprised she doesn't know already. I mean, I feel like, who knows? Brooke knows, and that's really just about it.
It's just Brooke and Carter and Hope themselves. Nobody else knows.
And I'm like, if you love Carter, why don't you go ahead and let your aunt know about the man that you love?
Yep. So then Katie brings up the fact about, you and Poppy used to be in this house together, and now that she's gone, I mean, she was an integral part of your life. I mean, you have to feel something. And then, of course, that was the bridge into that letter he had that Lunatic Luna sent him. And then it then brought us over to the prison where Poppy is like, of course you're my daughter, I always love you, but you wanted me to rot in prison, and all of this stuff. And then she broke the news that her and Bill is no longer together, and the smirk on Luna's face. She ain't done yet.
Nope. Because she had me really believing that she was remorseful. And this girl is so good because she had put on the little innocent Luna voice again. Even her face looked different. Like she looked like fresh faced Luna when she first showed up. Mm-hmm. And she was like, "Mom, I'm so sorry," and all this stuff, and I don't know what happened. It's like I was a completely different person. And then when that news came out about Bill and that switch flipped, and she gave that smoke, I'm like, oh my goodness, this girl is so devious. So devious, the way that smirk just came right on her face, and she realized that, okay, yeah. And she had already sent the letter out. So she was already plotting this. Like, brilliant. Like, that girl, I hope we see more of her.
You're going to see more of your baby Sheila. I guarantee it. She's the actress, just really, once again, small scene, but knocked it out of the park. Like, I love the villainous aspect. We got a villain on the show, you guys. It's been a while. But I'm going to be very ticked off, but entertained, if Bill actually helps this girl. Mm-hmm. That he's going to be so lonely because Brooke's not coming back to him. Katie's acting like she didn't want him. Did you see the way she walked out? Like, okay, let's look at the investments. And he asked her, like, hey, can we have a family dinner? She didn't even want to answer the questions. Like, oh, I got a phone call. I got to go. And just left that man hanging. Mm-hmm. He's going to be feeling lonely as much as she brought up the fact that he's by himself in that house. He's going to help get this girl out. And I think we're about to get something with Bill and Luna.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going, and it's purely for shock value. Yeah. If they actually, if he figures out because he burned the letter in the fireplace, but I don't think this is over for Bill. Why is he consumed in thought with this girl? That girl, she unalived 2 people.
Yep.
She said all the right things in the letter. I know you've done things in your past that you're not proud of either. And I think we have that in common, because Bill always alludes to his dark side and things that he's done before. And like she said all of the perfect things. I need you, Bill. Bill loves feeling needed. Like, remember, that was always a thing. 2 things about Bill. He loves feeling needed, and he hates being walked out on. Mm-hmm. He's always hated that. And basically, that's what Katie did. Katie's a trip because when he was with Poppy, she was doing all that, wandering around him, trying to protect him, crying every time he would tell her, "You're still my Katie." And you can't say that. Like, acting like, she was still in love with him and stuff, and it was just tearing her apart for him to say that. And then when the dude was basically freed up, she didn't want anything to do with him. So now he's feeling lonely again. And Luna is gonna be there. Him and Poppy are done, and I think he's gonna fall for this. Like even him throwing the letter in the fireplace, I don't think that meant anything. If anything, he did that because he was thinking about it too much. That's probably why he did it, because he was thinking about that girl. They showed everything from when he thought she was his daughter to the kisses. Like that girl was in his mind.
Mm-hmm. Like, why would he think about those kisses?
He's going to want to play hero for her.
Yeah. Like, why are you thinking about them kisses? All the things that you've been thinking about, like you guys having dinner together, hanging out together, her looking to you as a father figure. Now you think about them kisses like she's a whole love interest. Okay. Right. We see what you're doing with Bradley Bell. And V. Carter was right. We, the audience, the soapies, were better writers than Bradley Bell. And Crazy Mother Dan, she said Bradley Bell writes for KKL, and that's true.
and T, you're exactly right. I think they're going to do it, and part of it is going to be for shock value, because they're going to want to go back to this that vibe they gave when he did what he did with Sheila. Mm-hmm. That shock value moment when he came in, when he came through Steffi's door, And he had announced that he was with Sheila, and we saw what the whole plan was. But this time, and that was him actually trying to set somebody up. But this time around, there's something he feels for this girl. He probably feels like he shouldn't, but he still does. So what is he going to do when he realizes I'm alone, this girl needs me? Is going to play on him wanting to be the hero, and he actually cares for this girl and feels for her, feels bad for her, how she turned out. So if he was able to pull those strings he pulled for Sheila when it was a setup, what is he going to be able to do when he actually wants to save someone?
That is true.
He has the power. He has the power and the potential to help get this girl out.
Right. He does. Yeah. He does. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. We saw the promos for next week. The spoilers are out. I did post them in the Facebook group and on Twitter and Threads. I did post them over there, and she gonna write them again next week. We did also see Hope and Carter looking at some legal documents, talking about this was right in front of them, whatever this is, to get revenge on Forrester. So it's going to be an interesting week as we head into the second week of sweeps.
Mm-hmm. I knew it was going to be a lawsuit. I knew it. I knew it.
Yep.
What did I just read here? And Jasmine, you're 100% correct. Bill never loved Poppy. And when the look on Poppy's face, and shout out to Naomi Park, like great acting, by the way. She's like, yeah, we couldn't move past the kiss. That's why we broke up. No, this man never loved you. He's never even said the words, I love you.
Right. That is true. You used to always bring that up, Bree.
Yep. Whenever he was around Katie, he had no problem letting her know that he loved her.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And was quick to put his family back together after all that Poppy and Luna stuff. He was quick, ready to go. Mm-hmm. Like, you want to go family trips, you want to have dinners together. Like, I want my family back. I want my Katie back. I love you. I love you. I love you.
He Poppy real quick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure did.
He never loved that woman.
Nope. All right, what's y'all grade for this week? What y'all giving it? I give it a B.
I'll give it a B as well.
I'll give it a B minus.
Why the minus, girl?
I would have been happy to see Hope to take some form of accountability. I know that's hard for her. Mm-hmm. That's like pulling teeth for that girl. But there needed to be some accountability since all these people were trying to go to bat for her about her losing her job and claiming that she has a whole legacy. She's just letting these people just basically risk it all for her, and she's not worth it.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. All right. So now we have our 4 segments. For those that are new here, our Flip the Script segment is that if there's a particular scene or storyline that we wish we could change, this is where we flip the script. So for the Young and the Restless, what is your flip and who want to go first?
You can go, Bree.
I actually would have loved when Phyllis had said, I have proof. I would have loved for Sharon to be like, okay, well then why haven't you gone to the police with it? Actually, let me go ahead and help you out, and we'll call Chance since you have the proof that I did it.
That's a good one.
Challenge this woman.
Yeah, calling her bluff. That's a good one.
Yeah. Mine would have been Nate throwing Amy out. Like, look, I told you twice. No. You go find. You found me, like Jay said. You tracked me down. Go track your son down. Goodbye.
Yeah, mine would have been very similar to that as well. I would have had Nate politely decline, and then I would have had him go do his own research. I would have had them showing him doing his own research on her, because this woman has told him she's researched him, and she, and she was so willing to give him all of this information, it has to bring up red flags. So I would have showed him politely declining and then showed him doing research on her and her son on his own.
Oh, okay. What you got? And Bree, you already did yours, so.
Mm-hmm.
All right, for bold, what we flipping?
I had two flips. I couldn't decide between them, but I'll say them both. When Ridge walked into that house with Brooke, I wanted him to go right straight upstairs. I didn't want him to entertain anything that Brooke had to say. Like, look, you already know what happened. I'm going to bed. Boom. And Carter should have been fired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he was very out of place with that. What about you, Jay?
My flip would have been I don't necessarily care for Steffy and Finn's whole thing too much, but I would have let Carter and Hope really go at it and given the fans a really hot scene instead of that muffled behind the fireplace view that they gave us. That was horrible.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And my thing is, I would have just had them just go in there and tell them why we need to go ring around the rosies with all of this. This is a whole big old mess, all because Brooke is keeping a secret, Hope is keeping a secret, and Carter's keeping a secret. When everybody in that office date each other. This ain't nothing new. Y'all aren't an anomaly. Just say who you with and let's keep it moving.
Yep. I agree.
All right, who's taking a seat on the Young and the Restless?
Sharon. She had no business going to that service.
Ooh, that's a good one. She should have took a seat at home on her couch.
Exactly. And talk to whatever vision or ghost she had in her head at the moment.
I'm gonna put Lily in the seat. She getting on my nerves. What you got, Bree?
Okay. I'm going to choose something. I'm going to go with Amy Lewis and Devon, actually.
Devon?
Yeah, Amy needs to go try to find her own child, and Devon with this Mr. Newman. You about to be this man's son-in-law. You still calling him Mr. Newman?
Right.
That is so weird. And if he still calls him that when he's officially his son-in-law, if you don't call that man Pop or Dad or something.
I mean, they're both in the same tax bracket. Why can't you just call him Victor?
Yes.
Right.
My
God, you a billionaire too, Devon, or Mr. Newman. Oh, come on, y'all.
Even if he wasn't a billionaire, you a man. Stop calling. It's so subservient, T. I don't like it.
I know. I understand.
Even Lily calls Victor Victor.
Right.
Even Nate calls him Victor. Like, there's no Mr. Like Mr. Newman. No, I don't. He needs to take a seat, come to grips. Like, you about to be a part of the Newman family. Call that man by his name, Victor.
Right. I totally agree with you on that. That I don't know why they got him stuck in that mode. Even up until this point, Mr. Newman. All right. Taking seats for bold.
Katie.
Oh, you said Katie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, she came at Steffy.
Brooke needs to take a seat.
Brooke for the entitlement.
Yeah, Hope too. Trying to play the perpetual victim. When she caused this mess in the first place because she couldn't pick up a phone.
Is that your official one?
Yeah, that's mine. Go ahead, Bree.
Rich is going to have to take us. And Eric. We forgot about Eric. The way that he was talking about Brooke and her kids and how this was all wrong and he doesn't like this, he completely disregarded his granddaughter. And then you got Ridge, who's buckling for Brooke and didn't want to send 10 toes down for his daughter and says, like, I agreed with the decision and I helped walk that girl out. Mm-hmm. Now what?
Mm-hmm. Eric coming in there looking like Scrooge with his white hair and his ball humbug and then left.
You leave Santa Claus alone.
Oh my God. All right. Who is your star of the week for Young and the Restless?
Wait, you didn't do we didn't do take a seat for Y&R, did we?
Yeah.
We did.
We
You
did?
had
I thought that was only flip the script for Y&R.
no. We put Lily in the seat. We put Amy in the seat. You put Sharon
That's
in
right.
the
Oh,
seat.
okay. We sure did.
Are you over there drinking, Jay?
No, I promise.
Oh, okay. All right. Who's just my star of the week is both Sharon Case and Michelle Stafford on Y&R. They rocked out that scene at that door.
Yeah, I think that was probably the most powerful scene of the week on Y&R, right? So, yeah, I would say that too. I would double down and say that.
What about you, Bree?
I'm trying to decide between two. As far as the acting, I'm going to give it to Michael Grossaday, who plays Daniel. I truly felt for this man in the fact that he really lost somebody that he loves, and he's going through. Like, I felt for this character, and his acting was incredible. And seeing him on Netflix too, and Lincoln, he's a talented actor. And shout out to the actress who plays Claire. Like, she grew up a little bit, and we got to see a different side of Claire. Thank you. We needed to see that as an audience.
Oh my gosh, that is funny. All right. Well, did you do your
Star
star?
of the week for Bold?
Huh?
We got to do stars of the week for Bold?
Yes.
Who's yours?
I'm gonna give it to Lisa Yamada.
Me too.
That girl
And
there is
Naomi
creepy.
Park.
You know what? I
What
wanted
did
to
you
give it to
call
her,
her?
but
Bree, what did you call her?
Naomi.
Her name is Romy.
Romy. Why did I keep saying Naomi?
You mixing her
Because I'm
up
thinking
with
of
Lee.
Naomi. Yeah. I'm so sorry. The actresses, I apologize. Please forgive me. But Romy Park did a fantastic job. Absolutely fantastic job, as well as Lisa. Great scene.
Yeah, I'll give it to Lisa too, even though she only had a few select scenes, but she did, she does a lot with a little screen time.
Yeah, so they need to put that girl in prime time or in one of those Lifetime movies.
Or actually throw her out on the gate. Because I don't know. I hope they keep Lisa Yamada around for a little while longer, especially since the contract's for 5 months. They definitely need a villain, and she definitely gives villain. She gives baby Sheila.
I was about to say, I say truly let her be baby Sheila. We don't know how much longer B&B is going to be on the air, but let her be that villain that you see circle back every now and then, because she's that good. Yep. Aisha Jackson says the camera for Carter's chest gets the star of the
week. That's funny. Go ahead, Aisha. She said, get a cameraman for the Carter's chest that gets the star of the week. Okay, there you go, girl. We'll get that one to you. All right, who is your pickle of the week and on Young and the Restless? I'm going to give it to Sharon. Sharon got it. Even though I can separate the star from the pickle, she shouldn't have been there. I mean, when somebody tell you to go sit down somewhere, go sit down somewhere.
I'm going to give it to Sharon and Phyllis. Sharon for being there and Phyllis for not being able to contain herself and go about this a little bit more stealth. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give it to Summer.
Oh, yeah.
That is good. Yeah.
Because this woman got a whole available single man who wants her, but she wants to chase after her ex-husband.
Yeah, I mean, like I got what Jenna said, hamburger and
she said Kyle was hamburger helper and Chance was what she called him, steak.
Some type of steak,
like ribeye,
something.
or something.
But like
Yeah.
I told her, apparently Kyle's hamburger was helping Summer way more than Kyle.
Right. Oh my goodness. And then we got our Simp Olympics. Who gets first place? Well, wait a
Do we
minute. Who
even
gets the
really need?
bronze? Who gets the bronze? And this can go across both soaps because there's not simps on all of them. On both.
Yeah.
So who gets the bronze this week? I'm gonna give
Oh
it to
man,
Devon for calling Victor Mr. Newman. I'm sorry.
There you go,
Mr. Newman.
Mr.
Thank
Dillon.
you, Mr. Newman.
Who gets the silver?
Well, Nate's really been dealing with the Amy situation, so he hasn't really been, from what I've seen, sipping too much around Amanda.
How about
Not Amanda, excuse me,
Zende?
Audra.
Cause
Was
I
it
mean,
the sense of hope?
yeah, I mean, she put a battery in his back.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Zende for silver. And then we already know, and it's the perfect reason why we went like the actual Olympic order, how you go from bronze to gold, because we already know who takes the gold. He takes the gold, the platinum, the diamond, all of it.
Oh, by the way, Jenna wanted me to get this straight. She said prime rib girl. Talking about
Okay.
Chance.
He said prime rib.
Yes.
Jenna, go get your man away from Summer. She can appreciate him. I know you can appreciate Chance. I know. Let her go back to her hamburger helper since it's been helping her thus far. She helped herself to a lawsuit and put that baby through that custody battle over hamburger helper.
Well, Jenna, that prime rib must not be FDA approved because Summer sure don't want it.
Oh,
She want her good old American hamburger.
yes. As they used to say back in the day, she want the beef.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Beef is what's for dinner. You remember those commercials
Yes.
in the 90s?
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh my God. But yes, Carter took all of it. I mean, oh my God, that poor
Hope took
man.
all of it.
What you
Hope took all of it.
Shut up, Jay. Oh my God.
Whoa, Aditha. Okay, she said the simple award goes bronze is Carter, red is silver, which I agree with the silver, but gold for Finn. Interesting.
I know a lot of people didn't like how he just walked out when he got, he just skedaddled up out of there. I know a lot of people were saying that.
Yeah, and they made it like, oh, he had to go to work because he was just stopping by to bring the stuff, but he had to leave. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I
But he
mean,
had the time to bring a tablet in the first place when it could have just been an intern that came and picked it up, or make that make sense.
right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Jenna said I would keep him very busy.
Oh, Jenna, my gosh. You know that little bit. You know that little bit of curl that he wears right in the front of his hair. His hair be all messed up by the time Jenna get through with him.
Jenna hair gonna be looking like a troll doll if she had her way. By the time she finished with him, go ahead and get it, Jenna.
Oh my God. Wait a minute, hold on. Gabrielle said Devon for calling Victor Mister. This ain't the color purple.
Yeah. There you go, Gabrielle.
Oh my God. Y'all crazy. The Sophies are crazy.
Mr. Newman.
Oh my goodness. All right, you guys, we're going to end it right there. Another good week. Make sure if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on the way out. Stay tuned for the spoilers for the week of November the 11th through the 15th. And y'all got anything else before we get out of here?
Everybody, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't, please hit that like button on your way out and have a great weekend.
Bree, you anything? No?
I'm all set, you guys. Have a great weekend.
All righty. All right, so we are done. This is Soap Corner Talk. I'm T. There was Bree. That was Jay. And until the next one, we'll see you guys later. Bye, Soapies.
Bye.
Nighty night.